88%. Chapter 501 Mental Energy Showdown. Qin Zheng and Hua Kai killed for more than 20 rounds. He could feel that Hua Kai was almost reaching the limit, but the battle of Qin State below made him anxious. Big Sha Long K once again killed Hua Kai, this time attack large Sha Dragon Sparrow ascending a white light. Hua Kai didn't dare to be careless when he saw it. He threw out 5 elements mountain and the same white light flashed by, and the family luck value was 500,000 less. A huge roar sounded, Hua Kai retreated several tens of meters, and Qin Zheng also retreated several dozen steps. King Qin, I'm afraid it shouldn't be used to use the national fortune. So what is the point of winning with the national fortune? Hua Kai said to Qin Zheng. Qin Zheng used the national fortune to bless his offensive power, and Hua Kai must also use the national fortune to deal with it, but the value of Huahia's fortune was left over 5 million, and he couldn't fight it. If the family's luck is gone, Hua Kai doesn't know if the family secret realm space will disappear, so now he dare not let Qin Zheng go on like this. The battle between you and me is the battle for the world's fortune. Qin occupies half of the world's fortune. Nothing can keep you today. Qin Zheng said, carrying Big Sha Long and killed him again. Hua Kai's injuries are already serious now. He can only use 5 elements mountain to stalemate with the opponent. Once again, he was repelled by Qin Zheng for nearly 100 meters. Hua Kai used 300,000 Qi luck value this time and was killed by Qin Zheng. Vomiting blood. Squeak. At the critical moment, Wukong finally appeared. Wukong saw Qin Zheng killing Hua Kai, and he took the dark destruction knife to kill Qin Zheng's back. Qin Zheng felt that Wukong was also in the gold core realm. When he turned around to fight with Wukong, neither of them used Qi luck. Hua Kai saw the opportunity and hurriedly took a Zhong Lingdan and a spiritual pill to restore mental energy in his mouth. He felt that his own injury and mental energy were recovering quickly, and running true Qi quickly recovered his own injury, and Wukong was there. Under Qin Zheng's attack, the people who were killed continued to retreat. It was too far from Qin Zheng's strength, and it was not Qin Zheng's opponent if he did not use the body of the gods and demons. With just 3 moves, Wukong was imprisoned by Qin Zheng's powerful willpower, and was already injured by fighting against him. He screamed and called Hua Kai to come to support. Hua Kai's injury recovered slightly, so he had to continue to kill Qin Zheng. Qin Zheng pressed the 2 of them one by one and attacked them. With the endless force of national destiny, Hua Kai could only evade, and Wukong only used Qi luck. Value is entangled with Qin Zheng. At this time, the ground Chinese army has launched a siege on all the Qin Foundation building realms. The Qin Foundation building realms continue to die. Suddenly, an explosion sounded. They were killed in the Foundation building and 3 wounded in the Foundation building. More than 1,000 ordinary soldiers were sacrificed for them. Haha, King Qin. The Qin state sent the elites to snatch our dragon, but they were forced to blow themselves up. If this were seen by the world, wouldn't they laugh out loud? This is Qin state, the world's most powerful country. Hua Kai, while vomiting blood, he laughed at Qin Zheng and said, "Today can kill you is worth everything. I didn't expect that in just a few years, China could grow to such a level." Qin Zheng said that the white light on the big Sha Dragon Sparrow was more prosperous, and Hua Kai knew this strike. He absolutely couldn't catch it. Qin Zheng was determined to kill himself. "Qin Zheng, since you are going to fight to the death today, I will accompany you." Hua Kai said mental energy told Wukong to summon the body of the gods and demons, and his figure disappeared into the air in a flash. Qin Zheng slashed the air with a single blow, and saw that the little monkey behind him suddenly grew bigger. He could feel a strong force coming, and hurriedly fought with Wukong. After Wukong summoned the body of the gods and demons, his strength ascension was a big rank, but it was not much stronger than the current Qin Zheng. Numerous wills of heaven and earth gathered towards Wukong, and Wukong held the enlarged dark devil sword and attacked Qin Zheng. Qin Zheng Big Sha Dragon Sparrow slashed on Wukong Dark Destruction Sword and was repelled by more than 20 meters, but Wukong also retreated more than 10 meters. Wukong knew that his summoning the body of the gods and demons was expensive and the duration was limited, so he started to attack continuously. Qin Zheng kept flying to condense the sword energy of Qin's national fortune. After Wukong defended several times, he knew that the opponent was delaying time. The body of the gods and demons disappeared, and he could only be slaughtered by others. Wukong disregarded the opponent's flying sword Qi, and rushed towards Qin Zheng with a roar. Qin Zheng's 3-sword Qi hits Wukong's body, causing it 3 multiple-meter-long scars. Wukong approached Qin Zheng's body. Dark killing sword cut to Qin Zheng. Qin Zheng hurriedly parried. A huge force came from Wukong. This was Wukong's last full blow. Qin Zheng was hit and fell from the sky. This strike Wukong used more than 2 million Qi luck points, and at this time, the Wahia Qi luck value was only the last 1 million. Huakai sensed that Wukong was lost, so he hurriedly came out of the family secret realm space. He saw Wukong shot Qin Zheng down with a single knife, and hurriedly pursued Qin Zheng. Wukong had lost his combat power and could not be killed by Qin Zheng. Qin Zheng landed very quickly, and he suffered a lot from this strike. Huakai saw Qin Zheng's gray air surrounding him, and Qin Zheng's state was still seriously injured. He guessed that Qin Zheng couldn't make full use of Qin's energy to continuously use Qin's luck. How could he let this opportunity pass? A huge 5 elements mountain flew towards Qin Zheng. Huakai's this strike used 80% of mental energy. The huge willpower surrounds 5 elements mountain. Qin Zheng saw Huakai suddenly appear and kill him. The white jade seal was thrown to the 5 elements mountain. The white jade seal suddenly became larger, and the top of the seal was a landscape map, which suddenly enveloped the sky from real and virtual. The whole world seemed to be covered by this white jade seal landscape world, and the power of will of 5 elements between the sky and the earth quickly gathered to the landscape map. Then, in order to deal with Huakai's attack this time, Qin Zheng took out another spiritual treasure. Bai Yuyin absorbs the power of will between the world and the earth, while resisting the attack of 5 elements mountain. Huakai felt that this strike seemed to be attacking the whole world, and he couldn't help but feel a trace of regret in his heart, waiting for him to find his mind. When it was actually affected by this white jade seal, the white jade seal had already gathered more will of heaven and earth. It began to oppress 5 elements mountain and gradually retreat. Huakai saw here hurriedly input ice will and mental energy and the will of will. Forced to stabilize the defeat. If 5 elements mountain is repelled by the opponent white jade seal, then you will have to withstand the full blow of the white jade seal, and you cannot escape into the family secret realm space. Huakai realized that Qin Zheng buried himself here. He had already planned to start a mental energy confrontation with himself. Huakai's willpower was 79 points and Qin Zheng's 80 points. This difference was a worldwide difference. It's just that they have spent so long, and it is not certain who wins and loses in the end. Huakai tried his best to input spiritual power and willpower to 5 elements mountain, but the advantage of victory continued to move closer to Qin Zheng. Qin Zheng fell to the ground and got up to control Bai Yuyin and Huakai for mental energy duel. Bai Yuyin kept moving in the direction of Huakai. Everyone also saw that the two actually started a mental energy duel. Mental energy is no better than true qi. It is possible to become damaged and become stupid and become a vegetable. Many people in the Chinese family saw this hurriedly killing Qin Zheng on the ground, hoping to do so. Interrupted the mental energy duel between the two. But how could everything be so simple? Under the white jade seal, the 8 characters of destined to heaven, life and longevity shone out. A golden light shone around Qin Zheng. The Hua family foundation building was unable to advance. Those 8 characters actually let everyone have no hostility towards Qin Zheng. Huakai tried his best and felt that his advantage of using 80% of mental energy's 5 elements mountain was weakening a little bit. The white jade seal pressed 5 elements mountain towards him, and he could only see 2 spirit treasures coming between the 2 people, and then white jade seal absorbed the power of heaven and earth. The phantom of the mountains and waters became more and more condensed, and the 2 spirit treasures were already closer to Huakai in the sky. The masters of the Qin state suddenly rose when they saw this place, and they started a group of 3 or 5 people to resist the attack of the foundation building of China. There is no reason for King Qin to confront mental energy of China. As long as they wait until Qin Zheng wins, everything will be there. Chance. Kill. The Chinese army saw a burst of indignation in their hearts. They desperately tried to kill the Qin Foundation building. Even if Huakai was defeated this time, they would first kill the Qin Foundation building and the Blood Dragon guards. China is going to perish, how can we make Qin dominate? Huakai heard the cry of killing from below, and his heart was calm. His mind was fully invested in the duel with Qin Zheng's mental energy. Although he is at a disadvantage now, he knows that it is not a time to be in a hurry, letting go of everything. The battle, even if it is defeated, will be defeated vigorously. Huakai stabilized his mind and 5 elements mountain began to grow bigger and bigger. His qualifications were higher than Qin Zheng, but SSS plus will was more than SSS qualifications. Huakai mental energy was slowly recovering, and his consciousness deepened. Among the 5 elements mountain was his life's sole treasure, and was quickly controlled by his consciousness. For a time, Hua Kai and Qin Zheng fought against each other. Qin Zheng looked at Hua Kai in midair, and couldn't help but admire him. At this time, he could calm down and fight with all his strength. I am afraid that there are no other people in the world. Even Zheng, who is known as the #1 genius of Confucianism, is not as insightful. Hua Kai. When Qin Zheng saw this place, he calmed his mind and launched an attack on Hua Kai with all his strength. This Bai Yuyan, as the Qin kingdom's artifact, has been out of the category of spirit treasures, and it can be regarded as an immortal weapon. It can happen every time Qin kingdom's qi luck is used. Big changes are generally not necessary moments, and he does not want to use them lightly, but as long as he can kill Hua Kai today, he feels that it is worth the price. China is a country that is more difficult to deal with than Chu, and it will definitely become the biggest stumbling block on the road of Qin's unification of the world. Seeing that the kings of the two sides have entered the mental energy duel, Hua Kai is not at risk of losing for the time being. China has begun to rush towards the foundation building of Qin. A foundation building in Qin is fighting against two foundation buildings in China. Suddenly felt a strong sense of crisis, a huge crossbow penetrated his true chi cover. This foundation building body was rushed out of 100 meters. Before he got up, countless Chinese soldiers had already submerged him. Before this foundation building realm could get up, he was pierced by countless long spear thrusts. He roared and chose to explode to solve his own life. 88%. Chapter 502. The snow is getting bigger and bigger, but the countless broken corpses on the battlefield are left unattended. Bai Qi is protected by more than a dozen Qin foundation building realms. They sacrificed 3 foundation building realms to rescue Bai Qi. Nowadays, they will not let Bai Qi die here. More than 20 foundation building realms are besieging Bai Qi, and King Lu killed another Qin foundation building realm. Everyone in Qin sees that the sky has a bigger goal. Now they are completely at a disadvantage. On the battlefield, only Qin masters. There were more than 40 people left, and they all gathered on the ground and began to dare not rise into the air anymore. Qin state had basically been defeated at this time. And they insisted on waiting for the result of the sky. As long as Qin Zheng wins, the foundation building of China can't take action at will. They can retreat all over, otherwise they will all die here. People in China don't know the idea of Qin Guzhong's foundation building. They have killed and injured nearly 10,000 elite soldiers in the battle, but they must continue to fight. Hua Kai is still entangled with Qin Zheng. They can't waste Hua Kai. Give them every second of time. On the ground, Yu Jun has fired more than 40 giant crossbows today, killing 22 people of Qin Blood Dragon Guards, shooting 4 people in the Qin Foundation building, and wounding 11 people. Yu Jun's foundation building has only been around for more than a year, and now it's only the first floor of the foundation building. Now he has little mental energy left, his face leaning against the dragon's back, looking anxiously at the sky. The battle on the ground. China already has an absolute advantage. Shui Chen and Hua Mo come to Yu Jun. Qin Kingdom's Blood Dragon Guard has now been completely wiped out. It is difficult for you to inflict fatal damage in the foundation building realm. Go back to the family space and rest. Hua Mo said to Yu Jun. But, King, Yu Jun looked at the sky and couldn't help but said. At this time, Hua Zichen rode Tianlongju in the distance with a Qin State Foundation building realm late-stage battle, although Hua Zichen did not have the opponent realm. High, but relying on the advantage of Heavenly Horse, the opponent who killed has been defeated. Several people from the foundation building of China saw that they were chasing and killing with Hua Zichen. The opponent looked at the decisive battle in the sky and has yet to win. The negative Qin Zheng showed serious reluctance, and decided to blow himself up. Hua Zichen's crotch. Tianlongju felt the crisis. Hua Zichen chose to escape into the family secret realm space for the first time, but he was too close to the opponent. 8 Treasure Knight Armor Automatic Protector. Hua Zichen and Tianlongju have both double injuries and escaped into the family secret realm space. 2 core members of the Hua family died today. Hua Zichen saved his life with Tianlongju. Many core members of the Hua family entered the family secret realm space to see Hua Zichen's situation, but Hua Mo looked at the sky silently. Silent. Don't you go in and see the 5th master? Shui Chen asked while looking at Hua Mo. No, you said that we both grew up together. Before I got Guixiangguo and Shanhetu, you pressed me everywhere. Because I am a direct descendant of the Chinese family, I can have today, but the entire Chinese family is actually the most important thing is only one person. Hua Mo said softly. What do you want to do? Shui Chen had a bad feeling in his heart when he heard Hua Mo say this. My brother can't have an accident, He can't have an accident in the entire Hua family. I want to save my brother, will you help me? Hua Mo asked. How to save? Gold Core Realm battle is not something we can participate in. What can you do to let me go? Shui Chen said. No, I can only go. If it is to jump on, I really can't do anything with Qin, but if he dares to fall to the ground, I have a chance. I have 6 layers of the will of the soil. Only I can influence Qin. As long as Qin is affected, my brother can turn defeat into victory. Hua Mo looked at the sky and said. There is a gap between Huakai and Qin in terms of strength, Lingbao, mental energy, and experience. Wukong summoning the body of the gods and demons has now lost its combat effectiveness, and now only Hua Mo can help Huakai. Shui Chen looked at Hua Mo without speaking. If Huakai could be saved, the Hua family would not hesitate no matter how high the price was. What should I do? Shui Chen asked, looking at Hua Mo. Protect me, don't be disturbed. After Hua Mo said, he took out mountain and river map and placed it on his lap. He sat cross-legged next to the dragon's body. Hua Mo mental energy sinks into the mountain and river map, and the land under their feet is also displayed in the mountain river map. Hua Mo can clearly feel the process of the battle between Huakai and Qin mental energy. It is said that the battle is mental energy, but it is actually a clash between mental energy and the will of heaven and earth. Huakai's ability to absorb the will of heaven and earth is obviously more than twice as fast as Qin, but the level of Bai Yuyan is much higher than 5 Elements Mountain. Huakai and Qin are at an absolute disadvantage in the duel. Up to now, Bai Yuyan it has risen to a high altitude, blurring thousands of mountains and rivers, pressing 5 Elements Mountain Huakai's hard support. Hua Mo looked at Qin, who was motionless in the distance, with a smile at the corner of his mouth. He knew that his actions today might cause the Hua family to lose a lot of things, but for the sake of Huakai there was nothing he could not give up. He used the mountain and river map to draw the power of will in the entire mountain river map to the vicinity of Huakai, and Huakai immediately absorbed the power of will ascension several times. Hua Mo also blocked all the power of will in the vicinity of White Jade Seal, blocked the supply of will power to Qin from the earth, and weakened the supply of will power around Qin's body. Hua Mo could not block the connection between Qin and heaven and earth, but can rely on mountain river map to reduce all the energy density around him. Huakai is in midair, and his consciousness has long been isolated from the outside world. Qin's willpower is higher than him, and the spirit treasure is stronger than him. Thanks to 5 Elements Mountain is their natural spirit treasure, otherwise he will be killed by Qin. Politics invades the sea of consciousness, and there is basically no possibility of life at that time. Huakai has long been unable to feel everything from the outside world, nor his body. His consciousness has all entered the 5 Elements Mountain, and all his energy is in the absolute of Qin's mental energy. The mental energy around is more and more oppressed. Bai Yuyan has a special world secret realm inside, just like the world of Journey to the West. That world is not big but it can lead the whole world to attack itself. Huakai has always been under the oppression of that world, he couldn't resist no matter how much he exerted. However, Huakai has never given up resistance. Even if the opponent is a world, it is impossible for him to give up resistance. Huakai's incarnation 5 Elements Mountain feels that he is a small world, and he is struggling to survive under the squeeze of the big world. His world is about to be completely submerged by the opponent's world, and he also guards the last piece of the world, not to be attacked by the opponent. Slowly, Huakai forgets that this is a battle with people. He found that although the own minor world is small, there is also an own order. He guided these orders to let the power of 5 elements coexist, and the power of 5 elements entered from the world, constantly speeding up the operation of this world, but the opponent's world is also constantly growing. Huakai has been unable to find a chance to break through the opponent's world. I don't know how long it has passed. Huakai has become accustomed to his minor world becoming smaller under the squeeze of the opponent's big world, and he may be swallowed by the opponent at any time. Suddenly he felt that the opponent's world had a stop, and own minor world absorbed the power of will from the outside world much faster, and the minor world that had been squeezed by the opponent and was about to dissipate suddenly stabilized. His 5 elements mountain world began to grow bigger and bigger, and the other side gradually stopped growing after this pause. How did Huakai give up such an opportunity under the desire to survive? He began to fight back against the other side's world. I won a lot of space soon. Qin originally thought that Huakai's consciousness was about to dissipate, and killing Huakai could get this 5 elements mountain, a good trophy. But suddenly Qin couldn't feel the existence of the earth, which caused his mental energy to stop, causing Huakai's consciousness that was about to dissipate to wake up again. Qin Zheng felt that the power of will around him was weak and inaudible, and before he thought about it, Huakai quickly stabilized his own world power, which made Qin Zheng very angry. Qin Zheng felt that Huakai's 5 elements mountain will power is growing rapidly, and his courage of the seal cannot get more will power from the heavens and the earth, and the world will grow very fast. If this goes on, it won't work. Although Qin Zheng doesn't know how the Qin national masters are doing, he must be waiting for his rescue. He can't quickly defeat Huakai. This battle is already a defeat for him. Huakai's 5 elements mountain world has gradually stabilized, and is growing a little bit under the attack of the seal of the kingdom. Qin Zheng knows that this can't go on any longer, and he may be defeated if he continues. Qin Zheng had no choice but to separate a part of his mind and explore the changes around him. He knew everything from this view. It turned out that someone had cut off his connection with the earth through a special method, weakening himself and the surroundings of the seal of the kingdom. Power of will connection. With this slight distraction, Qin Zheng found that Huakai's 5 elements mountain had grown to the point where it could compete with the seal of the kingdom. He quickly searched for the reason, and based on the spirit of controlling the will of the 4 universes, I quickly discovered the problem. I was not far away from the foundation building in China. The power of the foundation building the will of the soil reached the 6th level, plus a special kind of spiritual treasure. My feelings for the will of heaven and earth. Qin Zheng found a problem. Mental energy followed the mental energy that controlled his surroundings. Mo only felt that his spiritual world was overwhelmed by a powerful mental energy, and then he didn't know anything. Mo was happy to see that Huakai moved back to the disadvantaged position a little bit. He suddenly vomited a mouthful of blood, and his whole body fainted instantly. At this time, Qin Zheng just opened his eyes and looked at Mo. Shui Chen stared at Qin Zheng, felt the strong killing intent of the other party. He looked at Mo who did not live or die by the side, and made Yu Jun look at Mo. He took out his spirit treasure dragon carp inkstone and killed him towards the Qin State Foundation building. Today's battle is divided into life and death, so everyone in Qin State don't have to leave. 88%. Chapter 503 Victory and Defeat. Qin Zheng was confident that this mental energy attack could destroy the foundation building's consciousness sea. After that, he opened his eyes and looked at Mo's direction, feeling that the power of will around him had recovered, and he closed it again. Upper eyes fought Huakai. Today Qin is defeated. Most of the blood dragon guards are lost. More than 50 foundation buildings are killed in battle, and more than half of Qin's high battle is lost. It will not be easy for Qin to defend the current turf in the future, but as long as he can kill Huakai, Qin Zheng feels that everything is fine. It's worth it. There is a voice in his heart that has been yelling at him to kill the other party at all costs. Chasing off the disturber, Qin Zheng began to command the seal of the kingdom to continue the oppressive attack on Huakai, but this time it seemed that it was no longer the same as before. Huakai's 5 elements mountain has become more and more stable, and Qin Zhengxin's oppression has no effect on it. Huakai's mind is still in the 5 elements mountain without moving at all. He is like a mountain climber, desperate for his own struggle. He seems to have paid no attention to victory or defeat in life and death. Qin Zheng tried every means, and finally found that the seal of the kingdom had been pressed back by 5 elements mountain, and Huakai and him were now back in half. Qin Zheng was a little anxious at first. Mental energy's attack was not as good as martial skill, and there was no retreat. He had to attack Huakai's 5 elements mountain with all his strength with the course of the kingdom's seal, and the battle could only be ended by defeating the opponent. However, after being interrupted by Mo, it was too difficult for Qin Zheng to resume his full-heartedness. He couldn't help worrying about the fighting situation in the Qin Foundation building, because just now he discovered that the Qin Foundation building has been confined together. Tens of thousands of troops besieged the Qin Foundation building realm, but the Qin Foundation building realm did not even dare to take off, so he must quickly end the battle. The more Qin Zheng thinks about victory, the more unable to devote himself to his mind. Huakai mental energy is no longer weaker than him. This is something he never thought of at the beginning. Now no matter how he earns mental energy, 5 elements mountain is a little bit. After gaining an advantage, after a short while, he was pressed on the top of the seal of the kingdom, and Qin Zheng actually started to become a disadvantage. Huakai devotes all mental energy to the 5 elements mountain so that 5 elements mountain will continue to absorb the power of the will of the heavens and the earth to fight against the 5 elements mountain, and he feels that the 5 elements mountain is giving 5 elements mountain the pressure on him is getting less and less, and he can deal with it more easily after slowly gaining the advantage. One of Qin's foundation building realm blew himself up, and the snow in the sky was getting bigger and bigger. The heavy snow fell on the ground and exuded a strong spiritual qi. The Chinese army continued to forgive their deaths and launched a charge towards the opponent's foundation building realm. Fighting against this is a lifetime honor for soldiers, and dying in the hands of the ruler is the way of death for the brave. Qin Zheng couldn't help but moved when he heard the self-explosion. He just wandered a little, and Huakai took another step to gain some advantages. Now Huakai's 5 elements mountain has all been pressured on the Chuanguoxi, and Qin Zheng has completely fallen behind. Downwind. The core members of the Hua family saw that Qin Zheng was at stake in the duel with Huakai mental energy, and they were no longer anxious to deal with Qin's foundation building. If Huakai seriously injured or even killed Qin Zheng this time, then China would become a country directly. The world's largest country, these foundation building realms can't escape. Slowly, the sound of the battlefield became quieter. From the morning until now, everyone, whether true qi or mental energy, is almost reaching the limit. More than 20 foundation buildings from Qin state are surrounded by Bai Qi, and the Chinese army is holding they surrounded. Everyone looked at the duel between the two kings in the distance. Qin Zheng heard the voice on the battlefield getting weaker and weaker in his heart. He knew that the state of Qin had been defeated today. With this idea, the morale of the seal of the kingdom was weaker, and soon 5 elements mountain had already overwhelmed Qin Zheng. 3 meters above his head, Qin Zheng struggled to support it. Hua Kai single-mindedly controlled 5 elements mountain and defeated the seal of the kingdom. He saw that he was about to win the final victory. All the recovered mental energy was entered into 5 elements mountain. His qualifications were stronger than Qin Zheng, and mental energy was restored. The speed is also much faster than Qin Zheng, so Qin Zheng will not be able to weaken his defeat with all his efforts. He knows that he will be over if he does not end mental energy against himself. At this moment of crisis, Qin Zheng suddenly opened his eyes, and he took out a blood-red stone, which floated on top of Qin Zheng's head, and the whole world suddenly turned into a burst of blood. The phantom golden dragons flew across the sky. Qin Zheng's eyes became blood-red, the infinite gray karma around him surrounded him. Qin Zheng was surrounded by bloody air, and everyone could not help watching quietly. Focus on everything in front of you. Seeing that all the phantom shadows above the seal of the kingdom had disappeared, Qin Zheng roared and all the golden dragon phantoms in the sky injected into the blood mist around him. Qin Zheng suddenly jumped to a distance, and the blood mist suddenly appeared. With a strong explosion, 5 elements mountain hit the ground, and the ground made a strong roar. There was a strong tremor on the ground, and all the soldiers were swayed, and soon the ground began to collapse. The soldiers of China saw this place hurriedly fleeing away, and all of them fell into the collapsed pit without waiting for them to send out. The cry for help was swallowed by the whole earth. Don't even talk about the war at this time. It's important for everyone to escape. Shui Chen commanded the 2 legions to help each other. All the Qi training realms run away by themselves. The foundation building realms and Shantian realms try to rescue as many soldiers as possible, the Qin state foundation building realms. Seeing this, they also hurriedly fled, and they quickly fled in the direction of Qin Zheng. Qin Zheng is now in ragged clothes. His blood-red eyes after 3 consecutive mouthfuls of blood essence finally returned to normal. The karma around his body continued to be absorbed by him. He quickly absorbed the blood-red stone into his body, and the whole person recovered. Huakai also recovered and opened his eyes at this time. The course of the state seal slowly flew into Huakai's hands, and Huakai held the course of the state seal in front of Qin Zheng, and all of Qin's foundation buildings couldn't help it. Watching him vigilantly. What you just took out is the blood dragon pond. You use blood dragon pond to suppress your injury. The injury will only be more serious, and you will only have a lifespan of 20 years at most without accident. Hua Kai came to Qin Zheng and said softly. At this time, the earth had returned to calm, and everyone could hear Huakai's words clearly, and everyone was shocked. In order to survive, Qin Zheng used the blood dragon pond to cut off his connection with the seal of the kingdom, which is equivalent to taking out his severely injured arm and cutting off the other arm. The seal of the kingdom has now become Huakai's trophy. Don't think that if mental energy has won the match against you just now, it will have been completely won. I now can kill you if I want to. Qin Zheng said slowly. I know, you are a soldier sage, you can kill the transcendent god realm with the power of the saint, but if you do, Qin will lose everything, won't you? Hua Kai said. Although Qin Zheng cut off the connection with the seal of the kingdom in time, Hua Kai still detected some of Qin Zheng's secrets. Blood Dragon Pond was the most important treasure after the Qin state inherited the Zhou dynasty. It is the sun of universe. The most important piece of ancient world fragments obtained, after thousands of years of refining, has now become a spiritual treasure. After Qin Zheng heard this, he remained silent, and it was impossible for Qin state to die with Hua Kai. They were originally just to snatch the dragon's body this time, but they didn't want to be like this. Hua Kai saw here turning around and heading towards China. It was not China's willingness to fight Qin. China did not have the power to suppress demonic beasts, and wild beasts. The civil war in the human race would only make the race weaker. This battle should be over. Watching Hua Kai leave, the Qin State Foundation building looked at Qin Zheng. Qin Zheng ignored everyone and flew south alone, and everyone from Qin State hurriedly followed behind him. When Shui Chen, Tang Lei and others saw Hua Kai coming back, they hurriedly walked over to him. Hua Kai raised his hand to signal that he was okay. They just looked at the corpse of the Chinese army near the half of the dragon's corpse, which Hua Kai knew about the battle. What a loss. Hua Mo. Hua Kai had an ominous premonition. After he left, Hua Mo should be in charge of all the battles, but Hua Mo was not here. The king and the Qin king mental energy duel. Hua Mo saw that the king was lost, and used mountain and river picture to cut off the power of will between King Qin and heaven and earth. When Shui Chen spoke, Hua Kai knew what was going on. At that time, he was fully engaged in the battle with Qin Zheng. It turned out that Hua Mo caused the sudden change of Qin Zheng. Hua Kai and the foundation building in China returned to the building. He saw Hua Mo lying quietly on a bed, and he checked Hua Mo's status. Hua Mo. The 8th floor of the foundation building. Qualification. SSS. Physique. 68. Strength. 69. Will. 0. 69. Mohist. Everyone. Confucianism. Scholars. Taoism. Students. Legalist. Student. Will of the earth. The 6th layer 27%. Mind method. Meditation Ju Tian level advanced mind method consummation. Marksmanship. Split air spear sky level advanced marksmanship complete. Confucian mind method. Righteous Qi Ju Tian level elementary mind method Xiao Chang. Confucian sword technique. Yongwu sword technique district intermediate sword technique Xiaocheng. Taoist mind method. Dao De Jing Tian level advanced mind method Xiao Chang. Taoist fist technique. 8 trigrams palm. Dot. Magic treasures. Earth spirit orb lower spirit treasure mountain and river map higher spirit treasure. Loyalty value. 100. Status. Seriously injured, the sea of consciousness is destroyed and the consciousness dissipates. Hua Kai saw Hua Mo's state. The result given by True Eye was that the sea of consciousness was destroyed and was in a state of serious injury, but the sea of consciousness was the most critical and vulnerable place for a person. If it was destroyed, it would lead to death. Hua Mo, why is it just a serious injury? Hua Kai used mental energy to explore Hua Mo's body and found no abnormalities. He thought that he would fight Qin Zheng with 5 Elements Mountain today. 5 Elements Mountain belongs to his own life spirit treasure. Just like a part of his body, Hua Mo also owns the life spirit treasure. Mountain river map Hua Kai found out in Hua Mo's broken consciousness sea, but what about his life spirit treasure earth orb? Perhaps at the last moment, the Lingbao might be protected. The most important thing now is to find the earth orb. 89%. Chapter 504 The Way to Repair the Sea of Consciousness. Shui Chen, you are waiting outside. No one is allowed to come in without my order. Hua Kai said to Shui Chen behind him. Shui Chen, Tang Lei and others have all gone down. The Chinese nation suffered heavy losses in today's battle. They need to count the casualties as soon as possible and report to Hua Kai. Hua Kai and everyone else left. Looking at Hua Mo who was lying motionless on the bed, Hua Kai sat beside Hua Mo with his hands on Hua Mo's head, his consciousness sinking into the sea of Hua Mo's consciousness. Ordinary people will not easily enter the sea of consciousness of others, and if danger occurs, they may not be able to get out for the rest of their lives. But when Hua Kai enters Hua Mo's sea of consciousness, he finds that Hua Mo's sea of consciousness does not have any repelling effect on him. It is like an empty void where fragments of memory float at will, and some consciousness fragments will become slowly dissipated, until finally everything returned to heaven and earth. Hua Kai felt 2 special auras in the distance. He walked towards the nearest aura, and soon found that mountain and river map was floating in a void. This was because mountain and river map came out of the system. Hua Kai was able to sense a slight reaction in mountain and river map. Coming to the mountain and river map, Hua Kai saw that there was no pattern on the mountain and river map, and all the terrain included in Wamo had disappeared, just like when Wakai first gave it to Wamo. Wakai put away the mountain and river picture, and kept approaching to another special induction. After walking for a long time, he came to a dark place. This is the deepest part of the Wamo consciousness sea. Wakai felt the breath of Earth Orb. He used mental energy to sense the existence of Earth Orb, but he felt that Earth Orb was by his side, but the other party was nowhere to be seen. It must be this Earth Orb hiding here with a trace of Wamo's consciousness when Wamo's sea of consciousness was shattered. This has made Wamo's consciousness not completely dissipated now. Earth Orb now dares not easily interact with human contact, it instinctively protects the owner from contact with foreign objects. Wakai thought. Wakai tried to keep in touch with the Earth Orb. He had to see Wamo's last consciousness before he knew how to save him. He kept passing the meaning of own beside the Earth Orb, telling it that he could save Wamo, but after some time, Wakai felt something appeared in front of him. A gray earth-colored bead was suspended beside Wakai. Wakai couldn't help but feel happy when he saw it. Earth Orb was more at ease with his breath, because it also knew that it was this familiar breath that could save Wamo now. Ns. Huakai puts his consciousness into the Earth Orb, and feels that there is a small mental energy in the Earth Orb guiding the dense postures and circling hard there. Earth Orb selects Wamo as the most important. Some memory fragments dragged into his body, using himself as Wamo's sea of consciousness, helping his sea of consciousness immortal, but its energy is limited, it is just a primary spiritual treasure. Huakai is also helpless when seeing this. The sea of consciousness is usually present in the foundation building realm, but even the gold core realm is rarely explored. If it does not cause the sea of consciousness damage, it is irreversible. Any elixir that restores mental energy also accelerates the speed of the sea of consciousness. A slight damage can also speed up the recovery. Injuries like Wamo are no longer cured by any elixir. Give Wamo a mental energy type spirit. The medicine may only make his memory fragments dissipate faster. Wakai was helpless. He watched Earth Orbs guiding Wamo's willpower. Some memory fragments were out of orbit. Earth Orbs could only give up these fragments to ensure that more casually would not be lost. If you want to save Wamo, you must gather all of his consciousness fragments together and let it form a cycle. Now Earth Orb has the operation mode of Wamo Consciousness Sea, and the only thing left is the ability to operate the Sea of Consciousness. With the level of Ascension Earth Orb, does Wamo have the possibility of rebirth? Thinking of this, Huakai thought of the virtual world. The Sea of Consciousness is to realize mental energy and the power of will, which still needs the origin of the world. There are many world origins in the world of Journey to the West, but Wakai cannot summon the world of Journey to the West here. If the world of Journey to the West appears, Earth Orb and Wamo's entire Sea of Consciousness will be crushed. Wakai looked at the inner world of Earth Orb. He stretched out his right hand and a gold core appeared in his hand. You can sacrifice yourself for me, I don't care about gold core. Wakai said. A breath of gold drifted from within the gold core. After drifting to the point where the consciousness fragments circulate, there seemed to be energy in the entire Earth Orb. Shards of consciousness began to circulate faster by a minute. The fragments of consciousness that were about to escape the control of Earth Orb were firmly grasped, and the whole cycle became stable. Seeing the effect, Wakai breathed a sigh of relief. He continued to put the power of gold core into the circulation of the fragments of consciousness. The cycle began to become faster and faster. Soon Wakai was able to see pictures from these fragments, just like the world scenes in his novels. With the continuous investment in the power of gold core, Huakai saw that the consciousness fragments cycle faster and faster. After a certain degree, the speed did not increase. An ochre fog appeared under the consciousness fragments. With the power of Huakai gold core with constant injection, the mist of vaporized water drags the entire consciousness fragments cycle. It turns out that the Sea of Consciousness is formed in this way. Wakai is delighted and continues to increase the power of gold core. His gold core has changed from pale gold to khaki, but Wakai does not feel distressed at all. It is nothing more than cultivation base. He will recover quickly with his qualifications of. When the pool under the entire consciousness fragmentation cycle grew larger and larger, starting from a small pool into a lake, and finally into a vast ocean, Wakai felt that the entire Earth Orb was constantly absorbing the water. I don't know how long it took. Huakai's gold core has turned pale yellow. If he draws further, his gold core will become a virtual core. After Huakai saw that the Earth Orb absorbed enough gold core power, it slowly began to vanish, and then the nihilized Earth Orb turned into a cloud of earthy yellow days floating above the Sea of Consciousness. Huakai, realizing that he has come out of the Earth Orb, Wamo's consciousness fragment cycle has returned to his consciousness sea, and the reason that the water returning to the consciousness sea may not be enough, all turned into yellowish white mist and sank under the consciousness sea. The circle of consciousness fragments remained unchanged. Wakai continued to input the power of gold core, and the consciousness fragments that were about to dissipate in the sea of consciousness were all condensed towards the loop. Wakai saw that Wamo's consciousness circle was gradually absorbing the fragments and growing. He continued to inject gold core power. He waited until his gold core became completely white, and all the floating fragments in the entire sea of consciousness returned to their original positions. Wamo's entire sea of consciousness had stabilized. Wakai felt that his own consciousness was getting weaker and weaker, and he knew he had to leaving. Two people may be finished if they don't leave. Withdrawing from the Wamo sea of consciousness, Huakai's consciousness returned to his body, feeling the long-lost sense of security. This time I broke into the Wamo sea of consciousness and nothing happened. This is a good thing. Now Wamo's sea of consciousness has fully recovered. True, I view the attributes of Wamo. Wamo. The 8th floor of the foundation building. Qualification. SSS. Physique. 68. Strength. 69. Will. 470. Mohist. Everyone. Will of the earth. The 6th layer 27%. Mind method. Meditation Ju Tien level advanced mind method consummation. Marksmanship. Split air spear, sky level advanced marksmanship complete. Magic treasures. Earth spirit orb, lower spirit treasure, mountain and river map, higher spirit treasure. Loyalty value. 100. Status. Seriously injured, impaired consciousness. Although he was still seriously injured in the status column, what disappeared was the sea of consciousness being damaged, not broken. The damage could be restored with elixir, and Wamo's willpower ascension reached 4, he was out of danger. Seeing this, Wakai couldn't help but smile. He felt that his mental energy had reached its limit. He closed his eyes and entered the dream concept sleeping space. This sleep was all day long. When Wakai greeted again, he checked that Wamo's attribute willpower had become 5 points, indicating that his sea of consciousness was already in the process of self-repair. Wakai gave him a spiritual pill to repair his mental injury. View the own attribute. The cultivation base was lowered to level 1 of the gold core realm. It was originally 80 points and mental energy was lowered to 70 points. Nothing else has changed. Mental energy is the most difficult ascension, but Wakai has the experience of entering the level of transformation, and it is still sage. It is not difficult to restore mental energy. He got up and went to the door and saw Tang Lei and grandfather Hua Xing talking at the door. Care, you finally came out, how is Moer? Hua Xing hurriedly asked when seeing Wakai. The two most important people in the Hua family had an accident. This made Hua Xing not worried. He rushed over as soon as he heard the news and learned that Wakai was treating Wamo and stayed at the door. Grandpa, why are you here? How long have I been in there? Huakai's willpower is reduced, and he doesn't want to count the time, he asked. My lord, you have entered 46 days, and it is now the first day of the first lunar month of China. Tang Lei hurriedly replied. Huakai looked out the window of the building. The heavy snow had covered more than 1 meter high. Many soldiers set up thick tents outside the building. The area thousands of meters below the building was cleaned up. Some people were at the corpse of the dragon. Busy. Wamo has no major problems. I believe he will wake up soon. How did we lose in the last battle? Wakai asked Tang Lei as he looked at him. The last time we fought against Qin, we killed 17 people from the foundation building. Among them, China lost 4 people from the foundation building. 2 of them were core family members. Wamo and Wu Yi were seriously injured. 3 people died in the foundation building from Yan. Names. Our affiliated countries lost 5 people from the foundation building, 2 people from the Qi State Foundation building, 1 from the Zhongnu country, and 2 from the Yuezhi country. Shantian territory lost 519 people, of which 511 belong to China. The Undead Corps lost 428 people, and the 2 major corps lost 13,428 people. Tang Lei replied. 89%. Chapter 505 The Crisis of the Human Race. What about Qin? Wakai frowned when he heard the loss of China. The 2 legions suffered more than half of the casualties. The Undead Legion lost so much. These are the core forces of the Hua family. Qin lost 57 people in the foundation building and all 88 Blood Dragon guards were killed in action. Bai Qi was seriously injured without knowing his life or death. King Qin finally evacuated 21 people in the foundation building. Tang Lei said. 57 people in the foundation building of Qin were lost, plus 17 people in China. A total of 74 people in the foundation building died here. How many people in the entire East China Foundation building? Terran has lost at least 3 levels of high-end combat power this time. As Tang Lei was talking, Shui Chen brought in Yu Jun, Shui Pan, Hua Peng, King Lu, Chief Tifa, Chief Wujumukin and others. They all smiled happily when they saw that Hua Kai was all right. My lord, you are fine. Now the Vermilion Bird Legion and the Jiao Guojing Cavalry Regiment are still on duty. There are more and more demonic beasts these days. Wukong has already cut off all the dragons a month ago, and I have all the income. Dragon Inkstone in the space. In the past few days, the number of demonic beasts is increasing. The 2 major legions have to clear the barren beasts several times a day to prevent us from being surrounded by barren beasts. News has also been sent from various cities in China that demonic beasts have appeared outside many cities. We must go back quickly, Shui Chen said to Hua Kai. More than 40,000 people have been able to wait until now, just to wait for Hua Kai. They are afraid that Qin Zheng will be in danger if he returns to Hua Kai. And now Hua Kai was sober, and all the dragon meat had been collected. It was time to go back. You go and arrange for everyone to pack their things today, and we will withdraw early tomorrow morning, Hua Kai said. In the first decisive battle between China and Qin, both sides ended up with heavy casualties, especially Qin, who lost more than half of the foundation building. Now there are so many cities that need to be defended. Even if Qin can defend this year, the number of wild beasts will increase in the future. The more Qin state loses most of its high-end combat power, how to defend it? Thinking of Qin Zheng's loss of the seal of the kingdom and his lifespan of only 20 years, the Qin state will definitely become weaker and weaker. At most 20 years after King Qin is killed, the world's situation will inevitably change drastically. In the next few years, the Central Plains will definitely be in the midst of resisting barbaric beasts, and the major nations must devote their full attention to the elimination of the barren beasts, otherwise the human race may be in danger of returning to the mountains and forests to survive. After this battle, China has determined its position in the Central Plains, and has become one of the tall and powerful forces alongside Qin and Chu. In the future, the world will inevitably be dominated by these 3 powers. Even if King Yan returns one day, it will not change much. Qi Guojing has been completely shattered in this battle, and the family of Qi who have taken refuge in China has won a big victory. If Hua Kai is willing, it is not difficult to incorporate Qi into the list of China. It is just that his own strength will be greatly reduced. It is better not to protect the major cities of Qi. After all countries in the world are reducing the defensive area. At this time, China is definitely not a good opportunity to expand its territory. Qin Zheng broke down the state of Qi. There is no reason for me to deal with the mess. Both Sage and Qin Zheng have the responsibility to help Qi state, but I don't have one. Just wait, Hua Kai muttered to himself after thinking about it. In the afternoon, all the allies of China who were invited to come to help gathered on the building. Hua Kai sat in the main living room and looked at the people below. The state of China is sorry for your help. The dragon has been taken by the state of China, and the Chinese family has no reason to monopolize it. This time, everyone's loss is not small. China will inevitably give compensation. If you have any needs, you can tell me directly. Hua Kai looked at the crowd and said. Everyone talked about being both prosperous with China and losing everything. Hua Kai waited quietly after they finished speaking. Everyone knew that Hua Kai was sincerely compensating for everyone, and everyone began to remain silent. No one said, I will start talking first. This time all the 5 foundation buildings from the Han nation came to support China. 1 fell and 3 were injured. Up to now, 1 is still recuperating. The 21 flag owners are all from the Shantian state. For strength above late stage, 9 people were lost. I asked King China for a spirit armor and 10 treasure weapons. Seeing that no one was speaking, the chief Tai Fa spoke first. Yes, the Hua family will send another 20 sets of Ordos tribe dragon scale treasure armor, 10 elixirs, and 1,000 caddies of dragon meat. Hua Kai said. Others were shocked when they heard this. Hua Kai is so generous, these things are not worth less than a foundation building. My Yu family wants 10 Xuanbing pills, 1 spirit armor, 3 spirit soldiers, 50 sets of dragon scale armor, and 10,000 caddies of dragon meat. Chief Wujumukin said secondly. Most people on the prairie did not implicitly say that Patriarch Wujumukin also saw that Hua Kai wanted to establish relations with all his allies, and that the future heir of the Yu kingdom was the Queen of China, and Patriarch Wujumukin could not be overstated. Yes, Hua Kai said. Others were surprised to hear this. The Yu kingdom was a big lion's mouth, and Hua Kai agreed. Many people couldn't help but wonder why the Hua family suddenly took out the spirit soldiers and the spirit armor. That is not to say that forging can be forged. Now the spirit armor and spirit soldiers of the Central Plains were obtained from the ancient ruins through expeditions. I don't want anything else. Just give me 5,000 caddies of dragon meat. 10 pairs of treasures will do. King Lu said. King Lu came alone this time, and it was not easy to get these without much loss. The others stopped talking at this time. Representatives of the Yan family tried to speak several times but failed to speak in the end. How does Yan Guo need to compensate for the loss of 5 foundation buildings this time? Hua Kai asked at this time. Yan is weak, so I dare not ask for compensation from the King of China. I only hope that China can help when the Yan is in crisis. The representative of the Yan family stood up and said with a bow to Hua Kai. Everyone knows the meaning of the Yan family. It is very simple for China to take over Yan. It is as simple as for China to help Yan. The Yan family wants China to give up the heart of annexing Yan. You can rest assured that Yan has no intention of attacking China, and China will never take the initiative to attack Yan. If you want to join China one day, we will not stop it. Hua Kai said. Hua Kai's meaning is to let the country of Yan continue to do so. The country of China protects the country of Yan, and the country of Yan is like a subject country of the country of China. The Congress of China gives the country of Yan all autonomy. This is now the best choice for the country of Yan. Thanks to the King of China. Representatives of the Yan family and several Yan Guo Foundation building paid great respects to Hua Kai. In the future, Hua Kai will be the sect leader of the Yan kingdom. You still have to take the compensation this time. Just give you 10,000 caddies of dragon meat, 50 dragon scale armors, and 1,000 treasure pills. Hua Kai said. After King Yan disappeared, the Yan family basically discussed the national policy with the other families, and Hua Kai gave them these so that they could distribute them. Daijin, Zhongshan, what reward and compensation do you need? Hua Kai asked. The monarchs of the affiliated countries of China participated in the core battle between the big countries for the first time. As affiliates of China, they had the responsibility to fight. Hua Kai even asked them, this is to respect their rights in their own country. It's all determined by King China. The monarchs bowed to Hua Kai. Okay, Shui Chen, I'll leave this to you. Reward 5,000 caddies of dragon meat, 100 treasure pill, 100,000 taels of gold, 1,000 horses of BMW, and 100 pairs of dragon scale treasures. The specific allocation is you discuss the method with the monarchs. Hua Kai said to Shui Chen. Yes, King. Shui Chen clasped his hand. In the end, there were several foundation buildings in Qi, and they all looked at Hua Kai with trepidation. Not to mention rewards, Qi Guo had surrendered to Qin. It is hard to say whether they will be implicated, as long as they can survive. King of China, I do not wait for a reward. When we came to assist the country of China, the domestic political affairs were fairly stable. Now Lindsay has taken refuge in the country of Qin. Knowing the news of the defeat of the King of Qin, the country of Qin will be in chaos. Please let the King of China let me go back. I plan to bring my family to join China, said a member of the Qi State Foundation building. It's a different matter to take refuge or not. It's the reward you deserve to be able to help me. Give you 2,000 caddies of dragon meat, 300 treasure pill, 30 dragon scale treasure armors, and 5,000 stones of spiritual rice. Qi has already taken refuge in Qin, and China will not interfere with Qi. If you want to take refuge in China, I welcome. Xinjiang only has a lifespan of 20 years. You must be clear about the general trend of the world. Hua Kai said several foundation buildings in Qiguo. What Hua Kai said is very true. Xinjiang did not kill Hua Kai's strength in the general situation. Instead, he lost a spiritual treasure that suppressed the nation's fortunes. Although Qin occupies half of the world, it is beginning to decline. It is a new and powerful country. Hua Kai has become one of the strongest in the world just after 30 this year. The future is self-evident. I know the meaning of the King of China. I don't know if the King of China ever wanted to dominate the world and become an emperor through the ages. Asked a Qi Guo Foundation building. As long as everyone can see the potential of Hua Kai, it is not impossible to achieve the throne in the future. Qi Guo Foundation building said that he has completely taken refuge in China and has already stood on the side of China. The wild beasts in the world are uncertain, and it is not a time to fight for hegemony. Qin has no self-conflict, it is not a fight for hegemony. Hua Kai said. Everyone tastes Huakai's words. Now that the wild beast is the #1 enemy of the human race, it is normal to focus on the wild beast, but Huakai is a little puzzled when it comes to Qin's rebellion. The meeting was very happy. Huakai compensated everyone. This not only shows that they have a relationship with China, but also that Huakai, such a strong man who can fight against Xinjiang, will make the country more secure. Back to his bedroom, Huakai was about to enter the family secret realm space, suddenly heard a cry from the next room. Tang Lei anxiously knocked on the door outside. Huakai opened the door and saw him look happy. "My lord, City Lord Wamo is awake," Tang Lei said happily. Huakai came to the next room and saw that Wamo had opened his eyes. He watched Huakai come in and smiled. "Brother." Wamo looked at Huakai and said, "You lie down and don't move. Your mental energy has not fully recovered yet. Do you feel any discomfort in your body?" Huakai looked at Wamo and said, 89%. Chapter 506 Yin and Amp, Yang Xuanlong Pill. "Brother, I'm fine. I'm just a little dizzy. I'm relieved when I see you are fine," Wamo said while looking at Huakai. "Well, you take a good rest, and eat a clear body pill later, and take a spiritual healing pill every day for the past few days. Your injury will soon recover. By the way, this is your mountain and river map. All the terrain included in the mountain and river map of your consciousness sea injury has disappeared. Later, you can slowly include it when you recover." Huakai sees that Wamo's willpower has recovered to 11 points. Compared with his physical and vigor value, this willpower is still too far behind. All Wamo felt tired just after waking up. Huakai said give it to him and leave. Returning to his room, Huakai entered the family secret realm space and saw Yurantuya and many people here, and Wushu was also there. He was discussing the Azure Dragon Legion with Shui Pan. "Uncle Wu, are you okay?" Huakai asked when he saw Uncle Wu. "It's okay. I recovered after taking a Zhang Lingdan in half a month. Wang Shang, you are fine. Just now I heard that Wamo woke up," Hua Zichen said to Huakai. After taking Zhang Lingdan it took half a month to recover. It can be seen that Hua Zichen was injured at the time. Huakai checked the Wushu attributes and found that there was no problem before he was relieved. "Tianlongju, what about him?" Huakai asked. "Tianlongju recovered in only 3 days. The two of us also went to Shacheng a few days ago and drove away 3 low-level demonic beasts," Hua Zichen said. Seeing that the fifth uncle is okay, Huakai can rest assured that the Hua family suffered such a big battle for the first time, and the core members were killed for the first time. This made everyone realize that this world is not as natural as we thought, even if there is family secret realm space to avoid, the core members of the family may also fall. Yurantuya looked at Huakai with a worried look, but she had heard of Huakai's danger this time. If it weren't for Wamo this time, he might not be able to come back. Huakai comforted Yurantuya a few words and told her to manage the Hua family well. Yurantuya nodded. When all the core members of the family met, Huakai came to the crystal pillar. When he saw the attributes of the crystal Hua family, he was shocked because he saw that the luck value of the Hua family had risen to 31.9 million. The comprehensive strength of the country is 28.76 million, which is more than 3 million. Huakai just remembered that when he confronted Xinjiang, the Hua family's luck value was already low. In order to prevent accidents, he restricted everyone's right to use the family luck value in the family secret realm space, not wanting one. In half a month, I increased my luck by 30 million points. Huakai checked the ascension record of his luck. He saw that the biggest 1-to-1 income of the Hua family's luck was when he obtained the course of the Kingdom Seal. The Hua's luck increased by more than 10 million. For a month, the ascension of Huahia's chi luck was above 600,000 points per day, and it was only half a month ago that it recovered to about 200,000 points per day. This must be the influence after this war. Let go of the permissions. Huakai went to the pill refining room and looked for pill recipes that could use the dragon pill as the main material. He put together more than a dozen pill recipes he found to select and view. These pill recipes are basically based on the dragon pill. Pills are medicine pills refined as the main medicine. These medicine pills mainly use ascension qualifications and increase willpower. Many of them can activate special talents after taking them, and their levels are above the 7th elixir of elixir. It's just that Huakai couldn't help shaking his head after seeing the medicine. It was very difficult to refining the resources of Shenzhou to the east of the high-level elixir. After watching for a long time, Huakai's eyes were placed on the last one called Yin and Yang Xuanlong pill. This medicine pill belongs to the first rank elixir, and can only barely reach the elixir level. Its prescriptions are all simple earth-level elixir. Hua Kai looked at it and could only choose to refine yin and yang xuanlong pill. Yin and yang xuanlong pill. First rank elixir. Main medicine needed for refining. 1 dragon pill. Auxiliary medicine. 1 piece of gentian, 10 coins of dragon horn, 1 flower of yin and yang, 7 products, 1 plant of earth heart fire mushroom, 7 products, 5 coins of remini essence, 5th rank. Dispensing. 1 sauceria plant, 4th rank, Keonjin vine 15 money, 3rd rank, blood python branch 10 money, 3rd rank. Efficacy. After taking it, a large ascension water will increase the will induction by 100%, increase the heaven and earth spiritual chi induction speed by 100%, take yin and yang under the foundation building level to circulate the yin and yang 2 chi internally, and greatly ascension the user's qualifications. Luck value required for refining. 13,200 points. This yin and yang xuanlong pill can not only make users understand water will, but also ascension will induction, spiritual chi induction, and generate yin and yang 2 chi circulation, which is equivalent to setting up the foundation building. Basic. As for the last mentioned qualification of a large-scale ascension user, this is relatively rare among all the prescriptions in the pill refining room. Moreover, this yin and yang xuanlong pill auxiliary medicine and dispensing are very common. Hua Kai decided to refine the yin and yang xuanlong pill. The elixir is effective in transforming the gods, and Hua Kai's willpower is now regressing. Taking yin and yang xuanlong pill can restore strength faster. But now that dragon horn and gentian are in Shui Chen's dragon carp inkstone space, Hua Kai decided to go back to Weisung City before refining. Back to Weisung City, he has the protection of the heavenly horse field high-level graphic array. Hua Kai is fearless. In the early morning of the next day, Hua Kai saw that Wamo mental energy had recovered to 29 o'clock, so that he could move a little bit. Hua Kai let Wamo's divine horse carry him, and then he rode the Luma with him. Behind Wamo, try to send Wamo back to Huacheng first. The Vermilion Bird Regiment and the Jiao Guojing Cavalry Regiment were handed over to Tang Lei and Shui Pan to command. Shui Chen sent away all the foundation buildings that helped them. Hua Kai's promised compensation would require the Hua family's core to disassemble the dragon before handing it over to them, and agreed with everyone that on the first day of April this year, Hua Kai invited all foundation buildings and above in the world to come to Huacheng to participate in the dragon banquet, and then all the compensation will be handed over to them. On the second day of the first month of the 6th year of China, Hua Kai took Wamo back to Huacheng. Hua Kai placed Wamo in the small courtyard of Shu Hua, who was injured in mental energy and needed a quiet environment to recover. More than a dozen wives and concubines of Wamo did not know that Wamo was injured and almost died. Those who were anxious had to go to Huacheng to take care of Wamo, but Hua Kai stopped them. Although China has been clearing the wild beasts for so many years and has never relaxed, the Dongling Mountains have been leveled by them for more than half, and there are no demonic beasts in the mountains, but there are still a lot of wild beasts outside the city this summer, and there are also demonic beasts gathered. These wild beasts and demonic beasts are basically from the southern part of the Central Plains. Huacheng is not safe now, and the danger of going out of Huacheng is still great. Now that there is no mountain and river map to control the terrain changes outside Huacheng's defensive pressure is suddenly much greater. In order to ensure the safety of Huacheng, Hua Kai has not the returned undead legion will go to Huacheng to assist. If there are too many intermediate demonic beasts or elementary demonic beasts, report to yourself as soon as possible. It would be more difficult for the 2 legions to come back in such a icy and snowy place. Shui Chen took more than 40,000 troops back and it took half a month. There would be countless beast attacks along the way, but Hua Kai was relatively at ease with the 2 legions. Both legions have gone through countless battles to become one of the strongest legions in China today. After experiencing the battle with the foundation building, their fighting will has become stronger. There are more than a dozen foundation building protections. K just needs to ask them where they are every day. There are news of wild beasts attacking cities everywhere in China, but they are still within the defensive ability of the cities. Hua Kai does not plan to extend a helping hand to the cities too much. It is one thing that his own strength is damaged. In the future for a long time, the number of wild beasts, and demonic beasts in the Central Plains will inevitably increase. He must adapt the cities to the winter pressure. At the same time, Hua Kai also wants to ascension strength as soon as possible. His strength determines the future of the entire China. With so much luck, Hua Kai looked like it was a waste of no expense. He collected 5 million taels of gold from the Wachung vault and put the 5 million taels of gold in the weapon shop to let the core members of the family continuously synthesize golden silk soft armor. In the future, when there are more and more wild animals, the grassroots combat power of China will be particularly important, especially Huakai will ascension the strength of each Ting and post, in order to ensure continued prosperity. As for the transfer of the reserve gold of the Bank of China, Huakai is not worried at all. The Chinese currency has become the main currency in China. After the first battle with Qin, the status of the Chinese currency has become more and more stable. Now the overall combat power of Ascension China is the most critical of. After returning to Weisung for a few days, Huakai handled national government affairs while refining the weapon, medicine pill, which his allies needed. The Hua family has become a powerful country in the world, and the accumulation of elixir and strange stones has reached a very large level. Nearly 100 kinds of elixir, and hundreds of elixir can be refined. It is delivered continuously to China through shops in China. On the 15th day of the first lunar month, Huakai woke up from the cultivation. In the past few days, he discovered that entering the westward journey world his own willpower ascension will be much faster. The whole westward journey world runs many rules and feeds back to Huakai's mind, which makes the willpower ascension in the past few days. After 2 points, he has now reached Gold Core 2 realm. Hua Chengmin appeared at the door of Huakai's study wearing a thick cotton coat. He looked at Huakai and did not dare to disturb him. "Come in. What are you doing standing at the door?" Huakai said. "Father, you have been away for more than a month. After you come back, you ignore the child. The question you gave to the child last time has been done." Hua Chengmin admired Huakai most in his heart, because he was under the influence of his family. He knew that his father was the heaven of China and the backer of all people in China, and Huakai's knowledge and insights were also the most difficult for him to learn. "Well, it's great. Have you let little brother little sisters recently? Your mother told me that you went to the stables all day and learned how to ride horses." Huakai looked at his son and said with a smile. Hua Chengmin's intelligence is beyond everyone's imagination. He is only 4 years and 3 months old. He can memorize all the sacred books and masterpieces of the philosophers, and he can draw inferences from one another. He has learned all of his math and ideological education classes, and no one of the teachers dares to teach him. 89%. Chapter 507 Dragon Liver's Miraculous Effect. The child has the protection of little brother little sister, but the child does not want to coax a bunch of children every day. Hua Chengmin said unhappily. Huakai knew that On's eldest son had a mature mind, and it was really hard for him to put him with a group of 2 or 3-year-olds. "Then what do you want to do?" Huakai asked. "I want to go to the college to study. The best one is Shacheng Baijia College." Hua Chengmin said. "It's impossible for 100 colleges. You are still too young now. If you want to go to school, you can go to your home college to study after the beginning of the spring. But I can tell you in advance that you cannot leave the college for 1 semester after entering the college. If you can be special, you are an ordinary student. Don't bully your classmates and teachers. If you have any questions, ask the teacher in private. The teacher doesn't know how to write it down, and the father will answer it for you at home." Huakai looked at Hua Chengmin and said, "Father, do you agree that I go to school?" Hua Chengmin said happily. "Well, but if I hear a teacher say that you are not doing well, you should go back to the palace and don't go out again. I will send you to the college after 12 years old." Huakai said. "Father, I know. I must behave like an ordinary student, without asking the teacher. But the child has no horses in the academy. Can I pick a horse by myself?" Hua Chengmin asked. "Yes." Huakai looked at Hua Chengmin and said with a smile. Hua Chengmin already has an adult mindset. It is not good for him to keep suppressing it like this. Huakai decided to let his deceased family academy communicate more with the disciples of other families, so that he can learn more how to communicate with his future officials. Those family academies, the students in the future are likely to be Hua Chengmin's own team. The strength of a king is important, but it will be more convenient for someone to help manage the entire country in the future. At this time, Warentuya came from outside with a plate, and when he saw Hua Chengmin, he put the plate on Huakai's desk. "Chengmin, why are you bothering your father again? Didn't I tell you not to disturb your father recently?" Warentuya asked, dissatisfied with Hua Chengmin. The most important thing for Huakai now is to restore strength. With great changes, Huakai will only be able to guarantee China's national security if its strength is restored. "It's okay. I have promised that he passed away after the beginning of the spring to study at his home school. In the future, he will not treat Chengmin as a child or force him to learn the thoughts of the 100 schools. The most important thing for a king is his strength. Hua Kai said. My lord, the concubine knows. Yurantuya looked at her son a little bit sadly. He knew that after his son had left him, he would not be able to be with him day and night in the future. When Hua Chengmin heard what his mother said, he realized that as long as he left the palace, everything was different. He was no longer a child. He was the son of China and had to bear everything that the heirs of China had to bear. My lord, the pressure cooker you let the craftsman forge was made a few days ago. I will ask you to try to cook the dragon meat in the pressure cooker according to your requirements. This dragon meat will cook much faster than ordinary wooden pots. After half a day, the dragon meat will become soft and rotten. Even ordinary people can bite it, and the broth has a much better effect. Warentuya said to Huakai. Well, give everyone in the palace a taste in winter. Don't let the weaker eat too much, otherwise you will die. Chengmin and Wukong don't have to limit. This plate is dragon meat. What's in this jar? Hua Kai looked at the plate Yurantuya brought, and asked, pointing to an exquisite ceramic pot. This pot is dragon liver. The legend of dragon liver and phoenix gallbladder is the world's sacred product. This is only 2 hours after being in the pot, and the dragon liver is ready. It tastes very delicious without any condiments. I just tasted it and felt the whole person melting into the world. The whole thing is like being baptized by the world. Warentuya pointed to the delicate little porcelain jar and said to Hua Kai. Hua Kai opened the lid of the porcelain jar and smelled a scent of dragon liver soup. The whole person was like a journey to the west. Mental energy went deep into the world. He took a sip of the dragon liver soup. Zhang Hua Kai felt that he was instantly integrated with the heaven and the earth. This feeling was somewhat similar to that of his epiphany. It's really good, you two will taste it together. Hua Kai asked Warentuya and Hua Chengmin to taste it together. Hua Chengmin originally didn't want to drink it, but couldn't stop after taking a sip and picking up the spoon. Warentuya only took a few sips and watched her son finish the dragon liver soup. Hua Kai also knows the effect of this dragon liver soup. It has the effect of a short-term ascension qualification, and it is a large-scale ascension, but I don't know how long it can be ascension. The dragon liver has such an effect, and Hua Kai has to try other parts of the dragon. The value of a large demon corpse is hard to estimate. He must use this dragon more rationally, so that China has paid his life for it. Tens of thousands. After Hua Chengmin drank the dragon liver soup, he ate dragon meat with his father and queen and mother. Hua Chengmin had a special physique. He had a large appetite since he was a child. Eating demonic beasts is the same as eating ordinary meat. He still looked as though he hadn't eaten enough to lose his stomach, and he didn't know where the dragon meat was filled with such a small stomach. At this time, a court lady came to report, and Shui Chen begged to see him outside the palace. Hua Kai hurriedly got up and walked out of the study, welcoming Shui Chen into the palace. Can the soldiers be arranged? Hua Kai asked Hua Mo. In accordance with the requirements of the king, all have been placed in the Weisung Heavenly Horse Field, and the ascension of all soldiers has doubled. After 2 months of advanced studies in the military academy, those who wish can be dispersed to various places in China as pavilion chiefs. Shui Chen said. I will send 100,000 caddies of dragon meat to the military academy in a moment, and the soldiers can eat it open in these 2 months. These more than 40,000 elite soldiers have experienced battles with the foundation building. They are the future of China. The cornerstone, these 2 months belong to the ascension period. All medicine pill and Lingmi supplies must be kept up, and mental skills and martial skills must not be left behind. By the way, how was the pension arrangement for the soldiers killed in battle? Hua Kai said. According to China's pension regulations, the foundation building pension is 10,000 gold, and the 3 generations of the family can be exempted from military service in China. The rental fee for shops, ranch, and farms is reduced by 30% within 10 years, and the children of the family can enter the family academy. The Shantian pension is 1,000 gold, and the 2nd generation of the family can be exempted from military service. The rental fee for shops, pastures, and farms will be reduced by 20% within 10 years. The family can recommend a child to study in the family academy. The Qi training state pension is 500, the pneumatic state pension is 100 gold, and the Kaiyuan state pension is 10 gold. Shui Chen said. I will break down the dragon meat these days, and take out 300,000 caddies of dragon meat to subsidize the families of the fallen soldiers. You put all the dragon meat in the underground warehouse of the palace these days. Hua Kai said. The two came to the underground warehouse together, where there was a variety of grains of millions of stones, which was the reserve grain of the entire Shacheng and even China, but Huakai had already received half of the grain in the past few days. Baoguang glass bottle inside. Shui Chen came to the corner of the warehouse. He closed his eyes and his face flushed. Suddenly a huge dragon head appeared in the warehouse. Seeing Shui Chen, mental energy was almost exhausted. Huakai asked Shui Chen to go back and rest first. Wait until mental energy recovers and continue to release all the dragons. When Shui Chen left, Huakai took out the dark destruction knife and tried to chop it on the dragon's horn, but the dragon's horn did not leave any traces. In the end, he could only call Wukong over again, which cost Wukong more than 100. The Wan family's luck value only cut off a short piece of dragon's horns. Yin and Yang Xuanlong pill. The required dragon horns have been obtained. Huakai came to the pill refining room, closed Wukong's permission to enter the pill refining room, clicked medicine pill refining, the familiar white light flashed. Huakai saw the 7 medicine pills in the synthesis column with a hint of glow, and went forward and saw the 7 medicine pills flew up and fled instantly. It was not the first time Huakai saw an elixir. He released the ice will to imprison a Yin and Yang Xuanlong pill. The elixir still wanted to escape, so Huakai quickly walked over and grabbed it. This Yin and Yang Xuanlong pill, the last 8 trigrams ball-shaped pill, was spinning. Huakai took a sip of this elixir's self-contained internal circulation, but there was not much medicinal properties released. He sensed that the 5th uncle was in the conference hall. Mental energy told Wushu to enter the pill refining room. Is this the elixir? Hua Zichen asked after seeing the medicine pill floating around pill refining room. Well, this is Yin and Yang Xuanlong pill refined with Jiaolong pill as the main medicine. It belongs to the first rank elixir. After taking it, you can ascension cultivation speed, ascension willpower and aptitude. You can take this one. Huakai handed the elixir in his hand to Hua Zichen. Hua Zichen is the head of China's military. His strength is very important. Now he is the 5th floor of the cultivation base in the foundation building with no special qualifications. Life strength ascension space is very small. Hua Zichen glanced at Huakai and took it directly after receiving it, but Huakai blocked him. This elixir, you take out the family secret realm space and use it again. There is no will of heaven and earth, and there is no spiritual qi, and the effects of the medicine may not be fully absorbed after taking it. Go call Hua Yu, Hua Li, Grandpa, 4th uncle, Hua, and Yu Jun. Huakai said to Hua Zichen. Hua Yu is now 26 years old. He has never comprehended the power of will in the Dzogchen. As one of the most outstanding young people of the Hua family, he is worthy of the Hua family's efforts to cultivate. Since Huali asked Huakai to transfer his qualifications to A+, he has been working hard in cultivation. Huakai has handed over a city in the western part of China to Huali. He has done very well in the past few years. Huali, Hua Zichen couldn't help asking instead. 2 core members of the Hua family were killed this time. 2 places have been vacated. I have recorded Huali as a core member of the Hua family. Come, let him come to the pill refining room. Huakai said to Wushu Hua Zichen. After Hua Zichen left, Hua Xing, Hua Yu, Hua Zawan, and Yu Jun came one after another. Hua Zawan heard that Huakai's newly refined elixir shared a share with his son and couldn't close his mouth with joy. This not only shows that their influence in China will increase, which also shows that Huakai attaches great importance to them. 89%. Chapter 508 Gold Core Seed, Seeking Monthly Pass. Huakai imprisoned 2 Yin and Yang Xuanlong pills and gave them to his 4th uncle Hua Zawan and his cousin Hua Yu, telling them that they must be careful when the elixir flies away and find a good place to take them as soon as possible. After the 2 left, Huakai grabbed another Yin and Yang Xuanlong pill and gave it to Yu Jun, but Yu Jun hesitated. My lord, how can I take such an elixir? City Lord Wamo has not recovered yet, and Wuya, as the dean of the military academy, ascension is more pressing than me. Yu Jun hesitated. This Yin and Yang Xuanlong pill is more important than the combination of all parts of this dragon, because it can not only be able to cultivate the speed and strength of the ascension user, but also greatly improve the qualifications of the ascension cultivator. In China, it is actually a gold core seed. You are the first to join the Hua family. We have come together for so many years of ups and downs, and we have become a family long ago. As long as you have Lingbao continuous ballista, as long as you are able to enter the gold core state, it is easy to shoot and kill the intermediate demonic beasts, and the effect is not smaller than that of the gold core state. That's why I chose you. Huakai said so that Yu Jun took the elixir and disappeared in a flash. Grandpa doesn't need this elixir. You give Wamo, this elixir can play the best role in your brothers. Or you give your fifth uncle, his strength ascension China will be stronger. Hua Xing said. Hua Kai said. Grandpa, the biggest function of this yin and yang xuanlong pill is the ascension qualification. It is easy for Wamo's qualification to enter the gold core realm, and it doesn't make much sense for him to take it. Uncle Wu has already taken yin and yang xuanlong pill, this one is the most suitable for you to take. The strength of the core member of the Hua family, ascension, can guarantee that the family will never decline. Hua Kai said. After hearing this, Hua Xing nodded. Hua Kai grabbed one yin and yang xuanlong pill and gave it to his grandpa. This pill refining room was left with Hua Kai and 2 yin and yang xuanlong pills. Hua Kai waited for more than 5 hours in the pill refining room before Hua Li's figure appeared in the pill refining room, and Hua Zichen's figure followed him in the pill refining room. Hua Kai view the properties of Hua Zichen. Hua Zichen. 6th floor of foundation building. Qualification. SS+. Physique. 66. Strength. 70. Will. 69. Confucianism. Scholars. Taoism. Student. Supernatural powers. Shadow change. The will of gold. Level 4, 7%. Mind method. Meditation Ju Tian level advanced mind method, great success. Marksmanship. Split air spear, sky level advanced marksmanship, complete. Confucian mind method. Righteous Qi Ju Tian level elementary mind method, Xiao Cheng. Confucian sword technique. Yongwu sword technique, district intermediate sword technique, Xiaocheng. Loyalty value. 100. Tips. Taking yin and yang xuanlong pill first rank elixir will increase the absorption rate of willpower and spiritual qi by 100%, and last for 3 years. Just for a while, Uncle Wu looked very different from what he felt just now. His aptitude has changed from S-level ascension to SS+. According to the hint given by True Eye, yin and yang xuanlong pill is effective for 3 years. In this way, this yin and yang xuanlong pill has a great effect. If it is given to Wamo and Shui Chen, they are likely to be promoted to the gold core level within 3 years. But think about it, it's better to have one more high qualified person. Wamo already has SSS qualification, and it is better to speed up his cultivation than one more combat power core. Nowadays, the qualified members of the breakthrough gold core level of the Hua family, if you count Lianpin, there are already 12 people. Hua Kai grabbed one yin and yang xuanlong pill and handed it to Hua Li, told him to take care of the content, then he took the last one yin and yang xuanlong pill and returned to Huacheng in a blink of an eye inside the underground warehouse. Coming to the sitting room, Hua Kai asked people not to disturb himself. He took out the wind fire fudanto, sit on it, and took the yin and yang xuanlong pill. Hua Kai could feel 2 breaths rotating in his body. These 2 breaths were the power of will and the power of spirit he was familiar with. The 2 of them were able to fuse and exchange with each other, which made him involuntarily interested. He never thought about how much willpower and mental energy have in common. Time just passed by a little bit. When Hua Kai opened his eyes again, he counted as long as 7 days had passed. This time, he used mental energies will probe to study the difference between mental energy and the power of will. I discovered that the power of will is actually a special kind of mental energy, but this kind of mental energy is much more complicated than the mental energy that everyone knows. Hua Kai vaguely felt the energy nature of the 2, and he checked the own attribute. After taking yin and yang xuanlong pill, his 3 attributes increased a bit, his strength was restored to the 3rd level of gold core, his physique reached the peak of gold core, his vigor and willpower each increased a bit, and Hua Kai's strength reached gold core. 4 floors. In the past 7 days, Hua Kai's cultivation mental and willpower has increased a bit, reaching 75 points, so that he is only 1 step away from the previous gold core 6th floor, and because the vigor value is a little ascension, Hua Kai will continue to stabilize the ascension soon. You can reach the 7th level of the gold core realm. With such a big flood dragon, Hua Kai has no worries about his strength. It's just that Hua Kai checked his own attributes, and the yin and yang xuanlong pill cultivation only took 10 months, which is much worse than Wushu Hua Zichen's 3 years. This may be the reason for his gold core state. Out of the sitting room, Hua Kai went to the underground warehouse. He took out the dark destruction knife to pry up the dragon scale, and then put the dragon scale into the portable space. Although he has not yet recovered the 6th level of the gold core realm, his 80-point physique makes it easy for him to pick up the dragon scales. The scales on the back of the dragon scales were as big as a grinding disc. Although it was laborious to pry up, one by one, a large piece of dragon skin appeared on the entire back of the dragon. The scales on the abdomen are only the size of a fist, but it is easier to pry it up. Wakai has been busy until dark and then left the underground warehouse and returned to the meditation room. Wakai did not return to the palace. He must hurry up for cultivation during these 10 months, especially it was when the dragon banquet was held in China on April 1st, and the strength must at least reach the gold core late stage. After one night of cultivation, Wakai felt that the effect of drinking the dragon liver soup had not passed. Huakai was originally the highest qualification of SSS+, sitting on the Wind Fire Futon qualification ascension, a big rank, and taking long liver soup to temporarily increase qualifications, plus the effect of yin and yang xuanlong dan. Huakai now the cultivation speed is at least 20 times higher than before. He intends to deal with this faucet as soon as possible, and he will close door training as soon as possible. After the cultivation, Huakai entered the family secret realm space, and learned that the urban areas of China are still stable, and that no cities in the affiliated countries and Yan Kingdom have been broken. With the news of the intermediate demonic beast siege, Huakai can stay in Wacheng with peace of mind. Coming out of the family secret realm space, Wakai returned to the palace and ate 10 kilos of flood dragon meat, so that his vigor would always be ascension. When he came to the underground warehouse, Wakai started another busy day. He took off all the scales one by one. The huge dragon was quickly stripped bare by him. It took him 11 days before the entire dragon head was covered by the dragon scales. After cleaning, Wakai peeled off the dragon skin from the abdomen, and peeled off a dragon skin that was 30 meters long and 30 meters wide in one day. The next step is to cut the meat. The whole cut meat is the best to peel. Huakai cuts all the dragon meat into 200 jin pieces and puts it in the portable space. It was not until the end of January that he processed all the dragon meat on the keel. The dragon was more than 30 meters long. First let him obtain nearly 30,000 tons of dragon meat, which is 3 million shi and 600 million catties of dragon meat. Bringing all the dragon scales, dragon bones, dragon skin, and dragon tendons to the family space weapon shop, Huakai found the forging display frame of dragon scale armor. Dragon scale armor, 9 rank treasure armor. Materials needed for forging: 12 catties of intact dragon scales, 2 square meters of dragon skin, 5 catties of black stone, 20 taels of gold, and 30 taels of silver. Baojia special effects. 1. The power of the dragon. The power of the treasure armor can be borrowed once a day. The strength is 5 points, and the power below 75 points is effective. 2. Will resistance. When attacked by will power below level 7, the damage will be reduced by 50%. 3. Absolute defense. 3 times a day dragon scale armor can withstand 90% of physical damage and 80% of true chi damage. 4. Constant temperature control. There is a constant temperature array in the dragon scale armor, which can adjust the temperature in the treasure armor. Luck value required for forging: 99,999 points. Huakai sees that this dragon scale armor is not inferior to the spirit armor at all, but the treasure armor can't be absorbed into the body to keep the ascension level. This dragon scale armor is not inferior to the undead commander set at all. Although all the core members of the Hua family have been pill refining and refining golden silk soft armor this month, and the secret realm training has not stopped this month, China's national air luck value is still more than 20 million. These days every day the ascension speed has reached more than 400,000, and the huge national fortune has made China's national strength rapidly ascension. Huakai forged 100 pieces of dragon scale armor in one breath, and nearly tens of millions of family luck values were used, so that the Hua family's luck value dropped below 10 million points. This value is enough, and the family luck value can only increase every day. More. Wakai handed the dragon scale armor to Shui Chen to let him pay attention to the demonic beasts in various parts of China. The dragon head split this time is also recent enough to be used for a period of time, and he intends to close door training for a period of time. At the beginning of March in China, the cold of winter is gradually leaving. The snow at the foot of Wacheng Mountain has begun to melt. The herders are preparing to drive cattle and sheep and return to their pastures. The new spring is coming. Shacheng began to become lively again. Everyone was discussing the current implementation of the various issues discussed by the House of Representatives last year. This is related to the interests of all the people. The most talked about by everyone was the battle between China and Qin last year. The King of China fought against the King of Qin. The Chinese army killed 52 people in the foundation building of Qin and 88 people in the Blood Dragon Guard of Qin. This made Qin the country's strength has dropped sharply. Some people have said that China is the strongest country in the world. Although most people do not agree with the statement that China is the strongest country, China is already a top-ranking country in the world. This is for sure. People will talk about the general trend of the world when they have nothing to do. Newspapers in Shacheng often mention things about other countries in the Central Plains. Well, this makes everyone see the goodness of China even more. In other countries, people don't have much literacy, and they don't have the right to read newspapers and determine the future of the country. All the power of the country is in the hands of the family and the royal family. 89%. Chapter 509. Tingfenglo is one of the most luxurious restaurants in Shacheng. It is in charge of the Wajia Ding. The chefs are all at the same level as the royal kitchen. Because demonic beasts are available all year round, and all kinds of spiritual dishes are also very complete, is the place where rich people go most in Shacheng. A patriarch of the Qi family is hosting a Wacheng grain shopkeeper on the 4th floor. This shopkeeper is not simple. He is a member of the Tai family, the 4th-rank family in China. My dear son-in-law, Qi country is now in chaos. The family who took refuge in the Qin country are now ready to escape. Now the best shop in Lindsay City doesn't want 100 gold, but you have to help your father-in-law. Me, the old man said, looking at the middle-aged man in front of him with a flattering expression. Tai Wei looked at the old man in front of him, with a trace of disdain from the corner of his mouth. He married the concubine of the Zhang family in Lindsay City, and the Zhang family is considered a high climber as the 8th-grade family of Tai Wei. But from the time he married his wife to the present, these father-in-laws, apart from today, have also seen him once when they were married. An adult father-in-law actually went to Shacheng to find himself, which shows that the situation in Qi State has really reached a serious point. My father-in-law, what is going on? Are you planning to abandon your family business and run away with you? I remember you chose to join the Qin state in the Zhang family of Lindsay City. Tai Wei said with a smile. My son-in-law, both my father-in-law, I am confused for a while. The Tai family is now one of the important families in China, and the entire China country's artisans are in the hands of the Tai family. Carefully.it is the Tai family who is in charge of China's urban construction and road construction. Everything in China belongs to the King of China. Tai Wei interrupted the other party. Yes, you see what I said. This year, more than half of the aristocratic families in Lindsay City intend to migrate to China. The Tai family now has a big business to take care of our little Zhang family. The Zhang family patriarch said with a smile. Yes, the matter of your refuge in Qin is not an issue in China's eyes. As long as you have the guarantee of the 4th rank or higher family leader, you can become a member of China. What about the people of China? I don't even say what life is. You understand that it is only one sentence to let the Tai family guarantee. But why should I help you? What do you plan to do when your Zhang family arrives in China? Do you still have to suck blood from my Tai family? If so, did I save the Zhang family and hurt the Tai family? Tai Wei took a sip of the wine and said, it cost more than $1,000 to go to the 4th floor today, and his father-in-law is destined to bleed heavily. Xian-in-law, this is something my Zhang family did wrong. I apologize to you here on behalf of the Zhang family. We will make up for the loss of the Tai family. We will not disturb the Tai family when we arrive in China. We plan to rent a piece of grassland in Donghu grassland outside Leopard Yuguan for grazing, said the owner of the Zhang family. This family originally started as a business. The Tai family and the Zhang family have been business partners for hundreds of years. They must help if they can help. The other party wants to go to the Donghu grassland, which is already leaving the Central Plains. It is afraid of the wild beasts and wars of the Central Plains. It's a good idea for Zhang's family to go to Donghu grassland. I didn't want to take care of your affairs anymore, but because of the century-old relationship between the Tai and Zhang two families, this time the Tai family will help the Zhang family again. When you arrive in China, you must abide by the laws of the country, and you must go through legal channels to fight for rights. If the Zhang family commits a crime in China, the Tai family cannot save you, and the big family cannot save you. Even the children of the Hua family will save you. Can't help you. Tai Wei advised Patriarch Zhang. Patriarch Zhang nodded, and no matter how much the two are in the relationship between Wang and La, it is impossible for Tai Wei to die to Zhang's family. Patriarch Zhang heard that Tai Wei had promised to have a happy smile on his face. For example, the safest place today is China. The safest place in China is the Donghu grassland area. Even if China finally goes to war with Qin, it will be difficult. Involved in the northern grasslands. Xian in La, King China beheaded the great demon flood dragon in the North Sea. He will hold a flood dragon banquet on April 1st and invite the world's monarchs to participate. I heard that all Shantian late stages in China can participate. I wonder if there is such a thing. The Zhang family patriarch looked at Tai Wei and asked with a smile. This matter has been heard from all over the Central Plains. China has already sent invitations to Qin and Chu. Naturally, it cannot be faked. Only members of the foundation building realm can participate in the non-Chinese family. China needs the Zhoqian in the Shantian realm. If it does not reach the Zhoqian in the Shantian realm, it must be the son of the third rank or higher family or the child of the Chinese family. It seems that your Zhang family does not have Shantian realm master. Tai Wei looked at Patriarch Zhang and asked. My Zhang family only has 6 Qi training realms, 2 of which have achieved great Qi training. I heard that if this dragon meat eats a bite, their strength can be greatly increased. If there is any way to participate, I hope the Tai family can tell. Patriarch Zhang said. If Patriarch Zhang wants to taste this dragon meat, it's actually easy. After the dragon feast on April 1st, there will be dragon meat for sale in restaurants in the 7 major cities in China. The owner has money to book here in advance, Tai Wei said. At this time, the waiter brought the dishes, and the master Zhang kept toasting Tai Wei. 14 years ago, the Tai family was an affiliated family of the Zhang family, but now the Zhang family has become an affiliated family of the Tai family. Situations like these two people are everywhere in China. China defeated Qin and obtained a complete dragon. China has a lot of scenery in the entire Central Plains at a time. The entire Central Plains is the voice of China, from the south to the south. The business groups in Shacheng are in constant flow with the people, and the business of Bank of China is becoming more and more popular. Many people use the light and beautiful Chinese currency. Banks everywhere are urging banknotes. Huacheng had to open a few more banknote printing line. In the family secret realm space, Shui Chen and Wamo and other members of the Chinese family are sitting in the conference hall. It occupies half of the number of aristocratic families in Qi, and most of the remaining aristocratic families cannot find a guarantee family from China, otherwise the entire Qi family will have to migrate to China. This is the situation now. If everyone in Qi is merged into China, Qi will be empty and occupied by wild beasts. Then the road between us and Lu will be broken, and Lu may not be able to withstand Qin pressure. Now is the best opportunity to occupy Qi, but the strategic plan given by the king is to stabilize the domestic situation first. After we occupy Qi, we will be separated by Yan. This is also very detrimental to our management, Shui Chen told someone who was present. The king is now closed door training. This time we invite King Qin and King Chu to the Huacheng together. The king must have a purpose. He is now working hard to ascension strength. We still don't bother him easily. Now that the family of Qi is taking refuge, let's suspend the approval first. Tell the guarantor families to give them a reply after April 1st, and that everything will be decided after the king leaves the customs. Wamo said. After 2 months of self-cultivation, Wamo has fully recovered his strength, and his will of the earth has also gained a lot after his recovery. With the use of a series of spiritual foods such as dragon meat and dragon liver in the past month, he has reached the 9th floor of the foundation building due to a blessing in disguise, and he has already had the perception of the power of gold core. It is much easier to enter the foundation building than ordinary people. Yes, the king specially urged that this dragon banquet must be adequately prepared, and the number of participants may exceed 300 by that time. Qin now has about 50 people in the foundation building border, Chu has more than 60 people in the foundation building border, and about 40 people in the foundation building border in Lu, Yan and Qi, plus we are together with the Zhongnu and the Yu family. 54 foundation building environment. Together with the giants and sage in the foundation building, there are about 240 people. In addition, the representatives of the various schools of thought we invited, China's Shantian realm of Zhoqian had about 120 people, and the number of people used was about 360 people, but I don't know how many people will be in the end. Hua Zichen said. China held a dragon banquet, inviting experts from all over the world. This kind of scene has never been encountered before. Kair is in the closed door training. He can't read the annual summary and budget of China this year. We will sign all the core personnel in accordance with the regulations. Even if the budget for this year is passed, we will fix something that is unsatisfactory after Kair leaves customs. Hua Xing said. Huakai is not present, and all the core members need to sign and review it before it is passed. The annual work summary of China is only implemented after Huakai personally reviews it. The 3 major hospitals are waiting. While everyone was discussing the budget for the major departments of China's 3 major hospitals this year, Xiaoqiang has been lying in his nest for 3 days. Since Huakai issued an order that all members of the Jiaolong meat Hua family can use at will, in the Palace of China, apart from Hua Chengmin and Wukong, Xiaoqiang has eaten the most dragon meat. Xiaoqiang has more than 10 caddies of dragon meat every day. He also likes to bite the dragon bones. Although he bites slowly, he still perseveres and gnaws at nothing. After more than a month, a keel weighing more than 30 caddies has been bitten by him. Go to nearly 10 caddies. Suddenly the clear sky began to be covered with dark clouds, and golden rays of light flashed in the sky. Anyone who comprehend the golden will can feel the density of Wei Sung golden will is constantly ascension, and a golden light began to toward the harem. Condensed, everyone's eyes couldn't help but look over. Many foundation building scenes guessed that someone from the Hua family condensed gold core. When the palace maid brought people to check it out, Wukong blocked them from Xiaoqiang's house. Everyone sees that Xiaoqiang seems to be advanced. The advanced spirit beast is similar to that of people. If you are disturbed, it is likely that there will be accidents in the key links of gold core. If you do not get promoted to gold core at that time, the situation will be small, and the foundation will have an impact on the future realm ascension. It will be great. 90%. Chapter 510. The Master and Spirit Beast mutually promote and influence each other. Huakai's strength ascension can affect Xiaoqiang and Wukong's strength ascension, and Xiaoqiang and Wukong can in turn affect Huakai. Huakai was in the closed-door training cultivation. He suddenly felt Xiaoqiang's mental energy fluctuating. It didn't take long for mental energy to fluctuate more, and soon he entered a new realm. Huakai knew that this was Xiaoqiang's breakthrough. A powerful mental energy was fed back to Huakai. Huakai felt that his strength was rapidly ascension. After a while, after that feeling disappeared, Huakai opened his eyes. He looks at the own property. Huakai. 7th floor of gold core. Qualification. SSS+. Physique. 80. Strength. 79. Will. 77. Xuanbing Will. 7th level, 1%. Resistance. High-grade ice antibody, 72%. Supernatural powers. Illusory world, power of dominance. Novelist. Sage. Confucianism. Everyone. Taoism. Everyone. Mind method. Meditation Ju Tian level advanced mind method, Zochin. Marksmanship. Split air spear, sky level advanced marksmanship, great perfection. Huakai's strength has reached the 7th floor of the gold core realm. He now puts his mind into the world of journey to the west. He feels that his willpower has the possibility of ascension recently. Space. Take out a piece of dragon meat weighing more than 10 kilograms and eat it quickly, then take out a porcelain jar, drink half a jar of dragon liver soup, close your eyes and start cultivation again. In China in March, the topic of Jiaolong banquet was spread everywhere. This year, the number of business groups from China to the Han, Yu, Chang, Dawan, and Wusun countries is much smaller, but the scale of each business group is extremely large, most of which have more than 10,000 people and more than 1,000 carts and horses the team, all of which are led by Shantian. This was mainly because the Qin state abandoned Yichu County, Zhao State, and the northern part of Wei State. This year, the number of barren beasts in this area has increased several times than before, and business groups with no strength can only cross the Beishan Mountain to make small businesses in Linhu State. Buying and selling, you have the strength to dare to go a long way, and now there are business groups from China to Wusun. The Hua family blocked the migration of the Qi family to China, but could not stop the refugees from south to north. The number of refugees in Shacheng began to increase in mid-March, and the Civil Resettlement Department began to arrange these personnel to various urban areas in China. Refugees in China also have a set of own management methods. If they don't have expertise, they can only obey the distribution. After working in China for a certain period of time, they can be assigned to the own house after all the assessments are passed. The Academy of Military Affairs has increased the construction of various pavilions and post stations in China this year. The pavilions are the smallest administrative unit in China. One pavilion manages the stability of a place to ensure the safety of commercial groups, motorcades, and messengers. It is officially established by the Academy of Military Affairs. China selected more than 3,000 people from the 6 major legions and various families of nearly 100,000 people with strengths above the Zhoqian realm, and established more than 3,000 pavilions in the 22nd district of China's 4 counties. This pavilion has 100 elite troops and more than 300 auxiliary soldiers. In addition, more than 30,000 people with power above the Zhoqian level were selected and allocated to these more than 3,000 pavilions. If there are people living around each pavilion must send a lichang to protect the village's safety, so huakai this is to keep all the wild beasts out of China. It is important to know that the force used to build pavilions and post stations is almost the same as that of China's 7 armies. China's attitude is also very clear. The domestic priority is to ensure people's livelihood. The greatest protection, you can return to the city during a busy year in winter, and all the stations and pavilions will be abandoned at that time, so that the Wahia can squeeze the living space of the wild beasts in China to a greater extent. By the end of March, the entire country of China was in a busy state. The foundation building of the Yu Kingdom and the Xiongnu Kingdom arrived. They were all placed in the center lake building boat. Both of them set off just after the beginning of spring this time. Thousands of masters in the country came to see Weisung for the first time. In the past few days, Weisung Street is full of people in the grassland costumes buying special purchases. Weisung is the national capital of China. There are few blessed places in the world. The quality of all goods is not comparable to those of commercial groups or licenses. Of course, the price is also higher. Those ordinary goods are much more expensive. On March 28, the king of Chu came to China Guohua City and accompanied the 51 foundation building to demonstrate the power of Chu. Even the countries of Yan and Qi are in the foundation building realms that are at odds with the Hua family. The Hua family uses the dragon as a guide, which makes it impossible for everyone to ignore it. Time may be detrimental to their entire family and even the country, so they will come anyway. The only one who didn't see it was Qin Zheng. When everyone was speculating whether Qin Zheng would come, Qin Zheng was sitting on the Great Hall of the Qin Palace in Shenyang, listening to the report of the Prime Minister Li Si. My lord, last winter because we moved all the people to the big cities of the prefectures, now in the 61 cities of Qin Kingdom, 1 inner city was destroyed and 3 outer cities were destroyed last year. There were 17 cities that lost more than 10,000 people. More than 90,000 soldiers died in the battle last winter in China, of which Qin Gorui 10,000 soldiers, and ordinary people lost 260,000. Li Si said. Very good. This year, we must increase the construction of city defense in 61 cities, and train all the people in the city to withstand the attacks of the more powerful wild beasts in the future. How comforted are the major families? Qin Zheng asked. Zhao, Zheng, Chen and other family members are very satisfied. They privately contacted the people in organized riots in various places, but I have already planted people to break into them. Wei, Han, Zhou and other countries are still stable. That is, all families want to get compensation. After all, their family loses the foundation building realm patriarch. If we ignore them, they will have hatred. Li Si said. Caring them. How much does the Prime Minister think that a foundation building level should be cared for? To every family who has fallen from the foundation building level, I will send 10 treasure pills and 200 taels of gold. How are your preparations for organizing the cleanup of all the beasts in Qin? Qin Zheng said. Li Si couldn't help but shook his head. A foundation building realm's life was compensated for 10 baodin and 200 taels of gold. He also knows that Qin has had a hard time in recent years. The south of Hanjiang County has always been in the handicrafts of Chu. Qin has lost the Bashu granary. However, because of the increase in the number of wild animals, the grain output has been unable to increase. They have been buying grain from China. I think those aristocratic families also dare not say anything. Since the end of February, we have begun to eliminate the wild beasts, but the effect is not very good, because the area of Qin is too large. Many areas of the original city have been completely occupied by the wild beasts, and the casualties have been eliminated. It's very big. This month, Qin Guo's sharp soldiers have killed more than 20,000 people. The first sweep of the wild beasts has not been done yet. Li Si returned. Fine, just clean up the wild beasts around the cities. The city walls of 61 big cities have given me the thickest foundation. All people, men and women, young and old, must learn to fight. Those over 16 need to train for at least 3 months each year. Qin Zheng said. My lord, nowadays the 5th class people have to serve for half a year each year, the 4th class people have to serve for 3 months each year, and the 3rd class people have to serve for 1 month each year. In this way, it takes 9 months for the 5th class people to complete their military and military service. They still have time to farm. If they don't farm, they cannot pay public food. Both military and military service have to bring their own food. How can they survive? The 4th class people accounted for the largest proportion. After such military service and military service, they still have 6 months left each year. 4 of these 6 months are winter, and it takes more than a month on the road to military service and military service. My lord, where does the common people have time to farm? A Qin official said in a deep voice. The officials of the Qin state under the stage were silent. Qin Zheng sat on the throne and looked at the officials. Many of the officials here are new faces, because many important officials in the past were killed in the fight for the dragon last winter. Everyone, is there a way to solve the people's heavy food problem? Qin Zheng asked loudly. Going back to the king, like today, the 3 major countries, Qin, Chu, and China is the weakest but the most abundant. This year, China's food is as cheap as 160 bones per stone, and China's purchase of wool has reached 12 for a caddy of bone coins. We can raise more sheep around the city in non-winter. We only need 1 million sheep to make an annual profit enough to buy food for half of Qin's people, and the sheep can be used as food. The official said half of the time. Qin Zheng, his face has become very ugly. My lord, this bureaucrat's plan is to destroy Qin's plan. Ask the king to kill it. China's reduction of food prices is a poisonous plan to take the world. How can we be fooled? Li Si interrupted the Qin official. Pull it down, chop it down. Qin Zheng said indifferently. 2 blood dragon guards entered the great hall and dragged the official down. No matter how the official begged for mercy, Qin Zheng remained unmoved. Well, retreat. The training and military service will be discussed later. Qin Zheng left after speaking. As the officials from North Korea and China left one by one, everyone in the state of Qin also saw the flaws of the Qin state's system. In the past, grains in the hinterland of Guangzhou could feed the entire kingdom of Qin. Nowadays, the number of wild beasts has increased, and the number of people outside the city has been increasing. They are big, and they have to feed more people than before. Qin was unable to solve the food problem. Relying on buying from other countries was like drinking poison to quench his thirst, and it would only make Qin even weaker. Li Si and some of Qin's important officials did not leave. They came to Qin Zheng's study together. At this time, Qin Zheng was already waiting for them in the study. Qin's key issues still need them to make decisions, and most of the others in the court have only the ability to execute orders. Your Majesty, China's harm is better than Chu's. This time they invited the world's monarchs to hold a Jiaolong banquet, which is very detrimental to Qin. Qin's voice has been heard from many places in China. If we don't stop it, it will definitely become a major disaster for the Qin country. Li Si said, looking at Qin Zheng. 90%. Chapter 511. 1 month. Li Si said this, and several ministers of the state of Qin also nodded. Nowadays, Chinese coins are circulating everywhere in the state of Qin. Many families and people have even started trading with Chinese coins for convenience. Qin's gold and silver have been transported to China invisibly. Wei Sung, if one day China does not recognize this paper currency, wouldn't the world's money be emptied by China? Hua Kai has become a trend. This time Jiaolong banquet. Qin state did not participate in this time. He must take the Jiaolong banquet as an opportunity to promote the unity of the human race and fight against the wild beasts together. Lu state promised never to launch wars outside. These countries will inevitably be bought by him. Qin state will face the League of Nations in the future. This is not a good thing for us. Qin Zheng said lightly. China has a state-owned Jiaolong, and it is the easiest to win over these 4 countries. Although Qin is the world's most powerful country, the people have been disgusted by what it has done for so many years, and its appeal is not as good as before. Now the larger the area of Qin's land, the more areas they need to defend in winter, the greater their pressure, and the less they have left to fight outward. When King Qin is unable to kill Huakai, China's influence will rapidly increase. The key is that Qin is able to restrict China, and there are very few ways to deal with China. Even if communication with China is disconnected, Qin will be injured. My lord, this matter can be big or small. At this point, we still occupy an absolute dominant position in the world. The king is the strongest in the world. There is no doubt that Qin Gorui soldiers are also the strongest soldiers in the world. Even if the entire world is occupied by wild beasts, we will inevitably survive to the end. General Wang's attack on Lu State this year is still not smooth, and the threat of the Qin State Azure Dragon Corps in the field is not small. If we abandon the eastward advance and retake the 2 counties of Hanzhong and Bashu occupied by Chu, the entire Qin will not worry about food. Bai Qi said at this time. Bai Qi will use the simplest way to solve problems. He was injured last winter. Qin Zheng spent a lot of money to restore him. He knows that his own advantage is to lead soldiers rather than duels. Only when he has soldiers in his hands can he play more effect. Chen, I don't think Wu Anjan's words are right. The Central Plains wild beasts can no longer be completely suppressed. This year, the state of Qin has been unable to clean up all the wild beasts in all areas. It's not 100 years for the human race to recover. Li Si could not help but speak when Bai Qi said so. Since the state of Qin could not establish a dynasty, there was no meaning for the nations of that day. Only by letting the people of the world see the necessity of Qin's unification of the world, the monarchs of the world can work with Qin to fight against the wild beasts. It doesn't take 100 years. The human race can be revived at a young age, and there will be no end to the revival of the human race at that time. Bai Qi said. Li Si stopped talking when he heard this. Qin Zheng looked at the other officials and asked, "What do you think?" Wu Anjan's words are reasonable. Qin can't stop to dominate the world. As long as we win the Chu state, we can occupy 70% of the world's population. As long as we migrate the people in Guangzhong, we are already invincible, no matter what China is. This world is bound to be taken by the state of Qin, said Wang Ben, the son of Wang Jian. Everyone did not expect that Wang Ben would agree to Bai Qi's proposal. Wang Ben was one of Qin Zheng's most important young people. Everyone was silent. Qin Zheng looked at Zhao Xin at the end. "What do you think, General Zhao?" The kingdom of Chu occupies the Hanzhong county of the kingdom of Qin, which is only a few hundred miles away from the hinterland of the kingdom of Qin. Does the kingdom of Qin have any reason to ignore it? The king, the ministers are also in favor of attacking Chu, said Xin Zhao. Xin Zhao said so, and the others slowly reacted, and they all agreed with Qin's attack on Chu. When the meeting was over, the ministers of the state of Qin left the palace, and Meng Han walked to Li Si's side. Li Si sighed deeply when he saw him. Why didn't the prime minister say to stop him just now? Meng Han looked at Li Si and asked. No one in the minds of the ministers knows that attacking Chu will only plunge Qin into a deeper crisis. But Qin has no choice. Only after he has taken Chu and occupied 70% of the world's population, can Qin have an absolute advantage. In the hearts of many of our officials, China is selling paper and books, and selling some woolen products. Don't you know that Qin is forced to retreat by these little things? Li Si said helplessly to Meng Han. Qin's power, only 20 years, now seems to occupy nearly half of the world, but time is on China's side. We have no choice. When Qin defeats Chu, there will only be a dispute between the two countries. Han looked at Li Si and said. Li Si nodded and went to the door of his home. He bid farewell to Meng Han and went home. After Qin Zheng waited for all the officials to leave, he lay on the throne and gently closed his eyes, only to see a cloud of gray breath slowly emanating from his temples, condensing on the top of his head, and Qin Zheng's face showed a look. The color of pain. His consciousness entered the sea of consciousness, and saw that Qin Zheng's sea of consciousness had turned into a bloody color, and the huge chain of consciousness fragments slowly walked over the sea of blood. These fragments of consciousness were surrounded by a cloud of gray, and his karma had actually been infiltrated. His consciousness is in the sea. As the only one of the philosophers of 100 schools that did not go to the top 10, the military strategist is the school with the most sage and giants. The reason for this can only be known when the strategist is above the giants. There are few military giants who live for a long time. By the late stage, many people are already murderous and difficult to suppress. In the end, they have to commit suicide. The reason for this is karma. Success is karma, and failure is karma. The whole world knows that soldiers can absorb karma ascension strength, absorb karma breakthrough bottleneck, and sometimes even ascension can burst out instantly. Therefore, soldiers have the strongest combat power and the fastest cultivation speed. The soldiers have the will to kill, which can make the soldiers forget the pain and exert more powerful strength. At this time, he may not realize that the karma that has helped them ascension strength has penetrated into their power of will. The character has been changed because of these karma. They can't comprehend the willpower of 5 elements. As long as they let go of killing, their strength will regress, and it will be difficult to escape as long as they follow this path. After the soldiers were promoted to giants, they could actually feel that their karma had penetrated into their mental energy. They increasingly used the eyes of killing to see everything. Killing would make them different from the rapid ascension of willpower. killing supernatural powers, but as long as they lose killing, they will become weaker. A foundation building strategist who has not fought for 10 years may not even be able to beat a Kaiyuan strategist. For strength, the strategist must continue to kill, so that they have the opportunity to become a saint and break through the limits of their bodies. As for the strategist sage realm, this karmic danger is truly manifested, and it is to release all the previous karma together. Even the gold core realm is difficult to resist under this powerful karma. Qin Zheng also reached the level of the military master sage, only to realize that the karma used for ascension's strength only inspires the own soul power, but the karma has been sinking in the memory fragments of his consciousness sea, affecting the whole person's conscious thinking. When one day cannot control the pressure of these karma, the whole person will become a machine that only knows to kill, and this time he may not be able to feel it himself. The reason why Qin Zheng did not become a killing machine was because the blood dragon pond passed down by Qin state from Zhou state, as a place for slaying dragons and storing dragon blood in ancient times, can suppress all karma. He has already put blood dragon pond as his life's spiritual treasure, but blood dragon pond can suppress karma, it is only limited. After so many years, as his karma has increased, blood dragon pond has already suppressed it. Unstoppable trend. As long as he can't suppress the karma in his body one day, he will be destroyed by the sea of consciousness instantly by the huge karma, and it is impossible for him to survive. Qin Zheng has been avoiding killings for so many years, but as a soldier sage, the thrill of killing makes people addicted. Qin Zheng knows that the more he kills, the faster his death, but every year he kills more and more people, never reducing. After the battle with King Han, even if Qin Zheng's karma could not be suppressed by the blood dragon pond, he must be immersed in more than half of mental energy to suppress it. After being stabbed by Jing Kai, his strength of will and mental energy suffered heavy losses, and he had to be immersed in the blood dragon pool for more than a year. It consumed countless treasures of the Qin state, and the energy in the blood dragon pool was exhausted by him. If he wanted to transfer to the blood dragon guard, he could only wait 100 years later. The last injury was the most severe blow to the entire Qin state in years. After Qin Zheng came out of the blood dragon pond, all mental energy had to be used to suppress the pressure that was reaching its limit. Now even if he does not take action, his body karma has been corroding his sea of consciousness for at most 20 years. The sea debris cycle will stop running due to severe corrosion. The widow will dominate the world as long as they live, and whoever dares to block Qin's unification of the world will be completely destroyed by the widow. Qin Zheng sighed lightly. On March 30th, at the Palace of Huacheng, China, a golden big tripod was placed at the entrance of the central Great Hall. The fire underneath the big tripod was very hot. The strong smell of dragon meat spread over the entire palace, and the people outside the palace passed by. As long as you take a sip of true qi, the whole body starts to boil, and the big cauldron is full of dragon meat, dragon lungs, borneal, dragon intestine, etc., just waiting for the start of the dragon feast tomorrow. However, Hua Mo, Hua Xing and others were in a hurry in the palace, because Hua Kai has not yet left the customs. Hua Kai sat in the sitting room wind fire futon, surrounded by strong willpower and spiritual qi surrounding his entire body. Suddenly these energy quickly dissipated. Hua Kai opened his eyes gently. 1 month of closed-door training cultivation made Hua Kai's willpower finally ascension a bit, and now he finally reached the 8th floor of the gold core realm. The gold core in his body was already glowing with a rich golden light, and Hua Kai's mouth showed a smile. 90%. Chapter 512 Dragon Banquet 1. On April 1st, China, the whole Huacheng was full of voices. Many people wandered outside the Palace of China. They smelled the scent of dragon meat from the palace while discussing the grand occasion of the dragon banquet held in China. Half of the palace of the King of China has no male guards, and no eunuchs. Most of the palace ladies in the kilometer are above the qi level, which is enough to defend the Palace of China. The monarchs of China National Foundation building came to the palace early, and they happily talked to each other. This time China got a complete dragon, which is the honor of China, and it is their pride. Yurantuya sorted out the clothes for Hua Kai. In fact, sweeping Xia Yi didn't need to tidy up at all. Hua Kai has never changed since it was worn on his body, but he still quietly asked Yurantuya to give it to him. Organize, because today's Jiaolong banquet is not as meaningful as China's Jiangguo. The king, the 100 officials have arrived. The king of Chu led the 51 foundation building monarchs in Chu to the palace in a quarter of an hour. A female official said to Hua Kai, "I know, Queen, you stay in the harem today. You are optimistic about Chengmen and other princes and princesses. If there is a war, Go underground to escape. Hua Kai said. The concubine knows. Warentuya said. After Huakai finished talking about the Great Hall, he came to the entrance of the main hall and saw 32 people from the Foundation Building of China and 11 people from the Foundation Building of the dependent country. A total of 43 people stood waiting outside the main hall and saw everyone in Huakai performing courtesy. The King of Chu, King Lu and others have arrived. Please join us to welcome you. Hua Kai walked to the palace entrance, and when they reached the front entrance of the palace gate slowly opened, and Hua Kai and the officials wait outside the palace. However, after a few breaths, Hua Kai saw a group of 100 people approaching in the distance, the people of the Xiongnu nation led by Patriarch Tifa. Patriarch Tifa saw that Huakai led the 100 officials of China to greet them, and he took 3 Xiongnu Foundation building to meet Huakai and the 100 officials of China. Huakai asked an official to bring the Patriarch Tifa and 3 foundation buildings into the palace, but the thousands of people who accompanied them could only enter the palace through the small door on the side. They would not enter the main hall and use it with all the monarchs' banquet, but China will also entertain them with dragon meat. The Huns entered the palace, and soon more than 2,000 people from the Yu clan also came. Patriarch Ujumshin brought 7 foundation buildings and was sent to the palace after the ceremony with Hua Kai. Actually, the forces that came this time participated in the banquet. The chronological order has already been arranged, and those who can be personally received by Huakai are all monarchs with independent sovereignty and above the 2nd rank. After the Yushi kingdom entered the palace, the 3rd one was the Lord Yangguo. After the King Yan disappeared, the Lord Yangguo from the foundation building was responsible for the state affairs. This time, the Lord Yangguo brought 16 foundation building kings, as well as Yanyan 10. 8 rides, more than 100 practitioners. Behind the kingdom of Yan is the monarch of the foundation building of Lu led by King Lu. Because Lu is still at war with the Qin state, King Lu cannot lead all the foundation building to Weisong. Despite this, the number of foundation buildings in the Lu kingdom reached 29, of which there were 8 of the 100 giants alone, and a middle-aged fellow with King Lu attracted the attention of Huakai. King of China, I brought a friend here today. This is the King of Han. Since South Korea was invaded by the state of Qin, the King of Han has been wandering around various countries to call on the world to fight Qin together. He heard that China held a dragon banquet to invite the King of the world. Come to participate. Lu Wang introduced to Hua Kai. Huakai looked at the King Han beside King Lu. Since Korea was invaded by the kingdom of Qin, King Han has not been seen. Rumors say that King Han only values pleasure, and that the kings of the world have the most number of singers and court ladies in the palace of Han dynasty. Both calligraphy and painting love to collect strange stones and spiritual herbs. It is said that after the destruction of Korea, King Han has been wandering around the world and calling on the king of the world to fight against Qin. Hua Kai does not believe it. As one of the 7 kings of the world, the gold core cultivation base, even if it is not Qin Zheng's opponent to kill a few Qin, is it not easy for the foundation building in China. But the king has been in stealth all the time. It turns out that King Han is here, please enter. Hua Kai said to King Han in a courtesy. Huakai gave Han Wang a similar gift, but Han Wang only glanced at Huakai contemptuously. He never put Huakai or even the entire country of China in his eyes. When he was in the middle of the Central Plains, the country of China had not yet been established, not even a family. It's really good luck for China. It's also rare to get a dragon. Today, I have to taste the smell of this dragon. King Han looked at Hua Kai and said loudly. This is the gate of the royal palace in the capital of China. People from far away can hear King Han's voice. His expression is for the face of China, which makes many people in China frown. Wang Lu looked at Huakai, who had been working as a peacemaker to prevent Huakai from getting angry, but Huakai smiled and signaled everyone to wait first. When all the members of the Lu kingdom entered the palace, the king of Chu came from a great distance with 51 foundation building. There were hundreds of entourages behind them, and Huakai saw King Chu for the first time. The king of Chu was the only one in the world who could force Qin Zheng away in the battle with Qin Zheng, even if the Chu family paid a foundation building life for this. Hua Kai once consciously wandered between heaven and earth, and felt that the strength of King Chu should be among the top 5 in the world. I saw Hua Kai today and felt that the opponent realm should not be much different from himself, it should be the 7th or 8th floor of Gold Core. Hua Kai personally took the king of Chu into the palace, and there are still some officials from various departments of China. The powerless foundation building, like Jing Kei's wandering Shah, the giants of 100 families, are special people. Huakai delegated the task of receiving them to the core members of the Hua family such as Shui Chen and Hua Mo. Come to the gate of the main hall of the King of China with the King of Chu. Both sides are neatly lined up with undead legion soldiers. A giant cauldron in the center above the steps of the Great Hall is exuding a strong fragrance, and there are waves of soup in the cauldron. Entering the Great Hall, all the monarchs have been waiting at the dinner table in the Great Hall to chat. Today's dragon feast is a wedding banquet. The world has reached such a stage, and they all want to find allies to establish stable cooperative relations. There are 6 long tables above the steps of the Great Hall. Although these 6 long tables are placed on the same platform height, the positions of Huakai and King Chu are at the top, Lu and Yan are in the middle, and Yueji is in the middle. The Huns are at the top. In the tradition of the Central Plains, the more you sit on the top, the more honorable you are, and the left is respect. Hua Kai's position was in the upper left, and the King of Chu's position was in the upper right. The other 4 were seated in flashbacks as Hua Kai greeted them. I said, King of China, I came to China to participate in the dragon banquet. How could I not have a place? Is this the way of hospitality in China? Hua Kai and the 5 kings had just stepped onto the stage and were about to take their seats when suddenly a discordant voice sounded. Everyone looked at that voice. Someone started to attack China before the banquet started. It may not be so easy for China to successfully hold the Jiaolong banquet today. This is the king's negligence. Let's add a table to King Han. Hua Kai said to undead soldier beside him. The soldier took a table and placed it under the Patriarch Ujumukin according to the rules, but King Han was unwilling. How can this king sit in such a position? I think the upper center position is empty. Let this king move the table there. King Han deliberately watched Huakai's provocation. King Chu smiled silently. King Lu looked at King Han and shook his head. King Yan looked down and seemed to hear nothing. Chief Tifa and Chief Wujumukin both looked wary. Looking at King Han. Haha, King Han wants to sit in the upper middle position. Do you know the meaning of this position? Hua Kai looked at King Han and asked with a smile. What's the point? King Han asked. The people sitting here are for the people of their own country. The king of a country who dares to fight against all enemies is an honor and a responsibility to sit here. Where is South Korea? Where are the people of South Korea? Honor of King Han, where is the responsibility? This king agrees that you are in the last seat. If you can focus on the human race in the future and keep in mind the shame of destroying the country, you may be able to repeat Korea one day in the future. You can sit in this upper middle position, and tell the rulers of the world what King Han relies on to sit in this upper middle position. Hua Kai looked at Han Wang and said, Why, you Huakai can sit in the upper left position, why can't I sit in the upper position? South Korea once fought against Qin alone, and there was no country in the world to help. Korea was invaded and occupied by Qin and it was beyond the ability of the king to resist, but the kings of the world laughed and watched. Before the words of King Han, many people heard that King Han's eyes were wrong, and Hua Kai interrupted him aloud. Qin state attacked Korea, King Han abandoned the country and fled, no one in the world knows. China killed the dragon, which was a disaster to the people of Yan, and Qin killed 54 people in each other's foundation building and 88 people in the Blood Dragon Guard. Han Wang is like this today, and he is afraid that it will not go well. How about a contest between the 2 of us? Hua Kai asked. This king can't ask for it, why don't we add some color to it? King Han said with a smile. The audience in the audience of the Chu State Foundation building heard them all smiled. Han Wang could fight Huakai, no matter how Chu State would benefit from it. They did not expect that the dragon banquet had not yet begun, but the Gold Core Realm duel was already there. Start. That's better, but what can King Han bring out? What do you want me to bring out? Hua Kai led the other party into the trap step by step. Haha, the King of China is also a refreshing person. If I win, the dragons that the King of China earns will be mine. If the King of China wins, this 8-level panacea will be handed over to you. King Han said. 8-rank elixir. Han Wang actually used the 8-rank elixir as a bet, wanting me to have a complete flood dragon. Hua Kai asked in surprise deliberately. I have a 9-grade elixir, 3 Lingbao level herbs, and 1 Lingbao of will. King Han said. Does King Han think that these things can be exchanged for a complete flood dragon? It's too much difference, Hua Kai deliberately said. Add 3 more life medicines. Han Wang said. Hua Kai ignored it. 3 strange stones above the 3rd rank. Han Wang Kan Hua Kai ignored him and continued. Hua Kai continued to ignore it, which made King Han feel very embarrassed. Everyone in the Great Hall looked at him as if they were watching a clown, and King Han's face suddenly became hot. 90%. Chapter 513 Dragon Banquet 2. King Han knew that he would not take out the treasures of the town's national level. Today, the face was set. He gritted his teeth and said, I once got a piece of Wujin by chance, can forge spiritual weapons. Wujin, it's not bad. In that case, the bet is generated today. All the monarchs sitting here will testify. King Han, please. Huakai stepped down the steps and went out of the Great Hall with King Han. All the guests followed. Huakai waved. All the undead soldiers outside the Great Hall stepped back. Huakai took out the gentian gun and stood opposite Han Wang. Han Wang took out a sword and stood in front of Huakai. If this king takes action first and then you lose and make excuses, you should do it first. Let this king see if the legendary king of China is better than Qin Zheng's talent, is it not worthy of reputation? Han Wang looked at Hua Kai said lightly. King Han is like this, the king is not polite. Hua Kai said, carrying a gun to kill King Han. Although King Han didn't take Hua Kai seriously, he was actually very serious in his heart. He held a sword in his hand. Retreating quickly, a sword beam cut off at Hua Kai. But when King Han just retreated, he felt something wrong. He suddenly felt that he was acting extremely slowly. A powerful force of will imprisoned him. It made him feel that it was more difficult for him to move a little. He couldn't help feeling extremely surprised. All the power of will was used to resist. He found that everyone in the distance seemed to move much faster. He knew that his power of will was completely suppressed, and that the other's power of will was 100 times stronger than Qin Zheng. How could this be possible? Huakai came to Han Wang. Even if Han Wang moved a little bit, it was extremely difficult. 5 layers of willpower against 7 layers of willpower, plus the blessing of heavenly horse field Zhonghua Kai mental energy, the whole heavenly horse field, that's Huakai's sight. Hua Kai saw the appearance of the other party and knew that he was slightly better than King Zhao. Gold core was on the 5th floor and the 5th floor of Wood's will. He raised the gentian gun and turned the spear into a stick and shot directly at King Han. In front of the pressure of the sea, King Han raised the sword in his hand with difficulty, but his reaction speed was as slow as his movements. Hua Kai just let the gentian gun turn a little bit and drew a shot at Han. The king's chest. Everyone heard a pop, and King Han was drawn more than 10 meters away. Before he could react to stabilize his body, Hua Kai shot him in the side of the waist again, and King Han was shot in the air. After flying into the air, Hua Kai followed Han Wang closely, picked up the gentian gun and lashed behind Han Wang. Han Wang was slow and unresponsive, but he was unable to break free when he resisted. All he was surprised to see this place with his mouth wide open. Han Wang had no resistance in front of the King of China. There was a hint of caution in King Chu's eyes. The King of China did not use any martial skills. The King Han who fought in this way did not have any resistance. King Han was not bad in the world of gold core. He could feel the surroundings of King Han. The power of will is very scarce, and every time the King of China delivers true Qi weapons, the surrounding spiritual Qi is already thick to the maximum. This palace must be built on a special formation. Every time King Han received an attack, his face would turn red. He couldn't break free of Hua Kai's control. Knowing that if he continued to do this, he might die here, so he began to seek a chance to escape. But how could Hua Kai let him leave? His figure kept appearing around King Han. Every time the gentian gun beat Han King, his strength became stronger, and King Han just wanted to take out his whole cards to resist, but the sky kept going. There was a sound of pop and pop. Kill. Han Wang roared and gave up his defense completely to fight Hua Kai. Hua Kai shot Han Wang with all his strength and made him spit blood. Han Wang just mentioned True Qi to resist, so True Qi couldn't help but repair his injuries. Hua Kaiji then drew another shot. A trace of blood keeps falling in the sky. The foundation building of China is watching the battle in the sky and talking and laughing. Hua Kai's strength is several grades stronger than King Han, and he is still in the Heavenly Horse Field map area. King Han was completely crushed by Hua Kai without any resistance. Slowly, King Han's resistance became weaker and weaker. Hua Kai drew King Han from a height to the ground with a few consecutive shots. At this time, King Han's armor was already in tatters. If he was seriously injured, he would inevitably cause irreversible damage. King Han also understood On's situation, but he didn't have the courage to explode, and a strong shock hit his brain, but Hua Kai's attack continued, and his sense of humiliation was quickly overwhelmed by endless pain. Seeing that King Han's resistance was getting weaker and weaker, the opponent's true qi and the power of will were already at the level of autonomous protection. He shot King Han to the ground with a boom sound, a 5-meter diameter. The big pit was outside the Great Hall. Hua Kai stopped beside King Han and the spear was at the neck of King Han. Everyone watched all this quietly. Han Wang coughed and slowly opened his eyes. He looked at Hua Kai with infinite fear. It was easy for Hua Kai to kill him just now, but now he has no hatred for Hua Kai. King China, I lost it. King Han hurriedly said. He was too late to say that Huakai Genshin Gun would die here as long as he enters another 2 inches. Since King Han has conceded, then this performance is the winner of this performance. There is rarely a gold core duel in the world, and today is also for everyone to have a good experience. Huakai retracted Genshin Gun and said. At this time, 2 undead soldiers stepped forward to support King Han. King Han watched Hua Kai not daring to move, and asked 2 soldiers to support him into the Great Hall. Hua Kai returned to his seat in the Great Hall. At this time, no one mentioned the addition of a table to King Han. King Han seemed to be just a joke. The strength of King China is not worse than Qin Zheng. It is said that King China was able to win the dragon's body by defeating King Qin. Today, the rumor is true. It is rumored that China has taken the treasure of Qin's suppression of national fortune. I don't know if this is the case. Chu Wang looked at Hua Kai and said with a smile. With Huakai's current strength, in this Chinese palace, one person can suppress all the kings in the world. Today, China must be the host of this banquet. With the test of King Han just now, all foundation building realms are quiet and abnormal at this time. Everyone quietly looking at the most stalwart figure on the stage. This is the Chuan Guo Shi. There are 8 character mantras in the Supreme Lingbao, which can guarantee the fortune of the country and eternal prosperity. Hua Kai took out the Chuan Guo Shi and said to the 5 people on stage. Everyone was surprised to see that Hua Kai really took out the profile of the seal of the kingdom. There are countless legends about the profile of the seal of the kingdom in the Central Plains. It is said that if you obtain this thing, you can become an eternal dynasty. This Lingbao has been in the hands of Qin Zheng. Only Qin can have the power to dominate the world, and now they actually see Hua Kai come up with the course of the state seal. What does this mean? There is nothing wrong with Hua Kai's duel to defeat Qin Zheng. Qin Zheng can give up the seal of the kingdom. There must be many secrets they don't know. Even so, the world's strongest person has changed from Qin Zheng to Qin Zheng and Hua Kai. For the 2 of them, the world's situation is bound to change drastically. As for China's invitation to the world's emperors, everyone understands why Qin Zheng did not come. The seal of the kingdom was lost for what he did. It is shameful not to say that Huakai's reliance on the formation in the palace can completely suppress Qin Zheng. When politics comes, it will only serve as a foil to Huakai. In this way, the purpose of China's Jiaolong banquet is very clear. China is going to replace Qin to be the lord of the world. When the king of Chu was worried about how to get out of trouble, Hua Kai waved his hand to indicate that the guards outside the palace could serve the dragon meat. A group of dancers slowly entered the Great Hall, and then 2 palace ladies came in carrying a small golden ding, starting from Hua Kai, placing them on the table in front of every monarch. A strong scent floated in the Great Hall, but no one moved the chopsticks. Hua Kai waited for the golden tripod, knives, forks, and tableware to be placed in front of all the monarchs before he got up. Everyone, the world has been in war since the Qin state captured Yichu state. In the past 10 years, the population of the Central Plains has fallen sharply by nearly 10 million. Many small and medium-sized cities have to be abandoned. The number of demonic beasts is increasing, and the human race has arrived. In times of crisis, the Chinese nation cuts the dragon on the shore of the North Sea, and today invites all the kings to come and taste this dragon feast. Everyone can enjoy it as much as possible. China, as a new big country, fought against Qin and Yanshan in November last year. The 2 sides killed more than 200 masters above the late stage in Shantian territory. This is a great loss for our human race. In the future, the human race will inevitably tighten its defenses and focus all its energy on fighting the wild beasts. If the human race continues to war and the entire human race is brought into danger by us, all of us sitting there will become sinners in history. Here today, all the kings of the world are here, and I promise to everyone on behalf of China. China will never take the initiative to attack any country. China will devote all its energy to killing wild beasts, savage beasts, and demonic beasts. It is hoped that all countries can live in peace with China forever, and create an environment of friendly exchanges, so as to develop and strengthen the power of the human race. Quote. After Huakai finished speaking, everyone on the scene showed a touch of emotion. China has such a powerful state but has never thought of dominating the world, and it is dedicated to the development and growth of the human race, and China has also been the best developed country among all countries for so many years. On the way to Shachang, they could also see that China had dispersed its forces throughout the country and tried its best to eliminate all barbaric beasts. I can deeply feel the righteousness of China. Because of Qin, the world war has not ended. Although Yan has not participated in the chaos in the Central Plains, the losses have been very huge. Now Yan has no gold core realm strong. Facing the intermediate demonic beasts, Yan state has been unable to deal with it. Yan state is willing to establish friendly relations with China and will never infringe. Young Master Yan said first. In the face of a powerful China, Yan is the most worried country. The entire west of Yan is adjacent to China, and King Yan is missing. There is no difficulty for China to take Yan. In this way, Huakai definitely determined the theme of peace and unity in this dragon feast. Many people are secretly delighted when they hear this. China promises never to take the initiative to attack any country. This promise will affect China's positioning in the hearts of all countries and families. 90%. Chapter 514 Dragon Banquet 3. China offered to eliminate wars and fight against wild animals, increase exchanges between countries, and increase the quality of life of the people. Many family members nodded their heads when they heard it. This is what they all want to see. Aristocratic families learn from the philosophers of the 100 schools of thought. The hundreds of schools are powerful but not suitable for long-term combat. These more than 10 years of fighting have made the influence of the hundreds of thoughts continue to weaken throughout the Central Plains. Only novelists are now all over the Central Plains. The aristocratic families also hope for peace. Rest for a period of time, otherwise, as the families of the patriarchs fighting against the emperor, the Bai family will become weaker and weaker, and the emperor's influence will continue to increase, which is not what the aristocratic families hope. Everyone responded to Huakai's call, hoping to deepen business and trade exchanges with China, establish dialogues above the foundation building, enjoy China's development achievements, and obtain more resources for mutual benefit with China. The Huns and the Yu countries naturally agreed with both hands, and the Yan and Lu also clapped and agreed, so that everyone can build a business and trade circle similar to an alliance, so that cooperation and exchanges between countries will become easy, so there is no unfairness. The mandatory conditions are only good for everyone and no harm. King Chu saw that this place was also taking advantage of the trend to join together, so this Jiaolong banquet Huakai's first goal has been achieved, and is considering how to sell more products from China to other countries. At this time, Patriarch Tifa was the first spoke up. King of China, therefore, I see that China is full of post stations. It takes only 4 days to reach the 1200-mile distance from Beishan to Shachang. I am thinking that the Zongnu must also establish some tribes beside all main roads. These tribes can not only transfer and transport some large items, but also provide safe places for the merchant groups to pay attention to. Patriarch Tifa said. In this way, a large part of the profits of commercial trade will go into the hands of the Zongnu. These small tribes, such as the ordinary Chinese pavilions and post stations along the way, can also make a lot of profits for the Zongnu. Ujumukan also agreed that the business and trade in their country have become more prosperous. They have been able to develop so rapidly in the past few years. There are more and more foundation buildings. It is not because the economic conditions are good that they can buy more medicine pills and advanced weapons. Yan also agreed to learn from China to build various post and pavilions to protect the roads between the two countries, to ensure the safety of all domestic businessmen in their own country, and to deepen the interaction between the officials of the two countries, but King Lu just shook his head. The King of China, the country of Lu and the country of China are separated from the country of Qi and Yan. From the beginning of this year to now, most of the trade roads are no longer usable. The people of the Qin family fled in large numbers. Today, the number of wild beasts in Qi is still rapidly expanding. If it is not controlled, most of the cities in Qin will be occupied by wild beasts within 3 years, and the consequences will be disastrous at that time. King Lu said at this time. In the past few years, Lu State has also enjoyed the dividends of the rapid development of Wahia. In the past 10 years of cooperation with Wahia, the number of foundation building environments has increased several times, and the number of ascension above Qiqiang has increased dozens of times. It is because of China and Lu. Traffic is blocked. In the future, Lu will face more and more pressure from Qin. Only then will King Lu win over King Han and let King Han go to Weisung with him, but the result is unexpected. King Han has no world. And even more without people, you should not be a hero, and there is no talent in your chest. The situation of Qi State this year caused severe damage to the southern commercial roads, and many goods could not reach Lu State. This will inevitably reduce Lu Wang's income this year, especially since China's grain is difficult to transport to Lu State. This trouble makes Lu Wang a headache. No. Qi State surrendered to Qin State last year. This year, Qin State has no contact with Qi State. Many families of Qi State have contacted this king. I hope that this king can merge Qi State into Lu State, but because of the strength of Lu State, this king has the intention and powerlessness. Today, there are also many monarchs in the foundation building of Qi State. King China can come up with an idea to enable Qi State to maintain its previous stability. King Lu said. Several foundation building members in Qi State began to speak when they saw the opportunity. They all hoped that China could take over Qi State and protect the stability of Qi State. Everyone sitting here also realized that the only one who could save Qi was King China, and the others were unable to help Qi. China is about to annex Qi. Huakai repeatedly refused to annex Qi State, but several members of the Qi State Foundation building were very persistent. They prayed that Huakai would help the various families of Qi State to survive based on their previous relationships. Qi is all in the hands of major families. If China is to be incorporated, the interests of the aristocratic family will be difficult to preserve. The system of China and Qi is too different. China has to shoulder the defense of the entire Qi region, but in the end can only fight secretly with the major families. To be honest, Qi is an ordinary chicken rib for China, but it is a pity that it is tasteless. Huakai dialect has already said that China is now divided into 4 counties. Baishan County and Donghu County are yet to be developed. Zhongshan County has just entered China and is developing early. Only Jialiu County is now the core of China and has developed. Perfect. China is not the best time to expand. King China, if the situation in Qi country deteriorates in this way, it will surely become a paradise for wild beasts, and the people will become food for wild beasts without the protection of the king. Now all of the Qi family in Lindsay City have almost evacuated from the area directly under the Qi state. The Qi family has been connected to Shenyang City by Xinjiang. China can manage a county directly under the Qi state, so that the king of China needs to pay too much energy. Much less. The 11 monarchs affiliated to the Qi state can be handed over to the major families. Just like Zhongshan County, the major families become the vassals of China, and this is the best way to do so. All major families will definitely accept it. The king of Lu said at this time, he must throw the sweet potato of Qi into Huakai's hands today, otherwise Lu and China will be disconnected. How can they resist Qin's strategy? This matter. Let's talk about it later. You guys should hurry up and have a banquet. Huakai saw that the dancer had skipped half of the song, and many people could not help smelling the strong smell of dragon, so they interrupted the topic and let everyone have a banquet. Different parts of the dragon have special effects. The big demon is recorded in historical records in ancient times. When the human race has a strong god of transformation, it will kill the big demon to obtain the meat of the big demon. Today everyone is fortunate to taste it, and they are all excited. Different parts of the dragon have different tastes, especially the meat has been simmered in a pressure cooker until it is very cooked, with a small amount of auxiliary materials and special Chinese spices, and the taste is very good. After the banquet, there was only the sound of eating dragon meat in the entire great hall. After the dancers finished a few dances, Huakai waved them to leave. Today, everyone in Weisung has a dragon meat or broth, but the palace does it. I used hundreds of pressure cookers to stew hundreds of thousands of caddies of dragon meat, enough for more than 400,000 people in Weisung to taste. It was the first time that King Chu tasted dragon meat. He took a bite of dragon liver and gently closed his eyes to taste. After a while, he took a deep breath and ate another bite of dragon meat. This dragon meat was the best spiritual food he had ever eaten. The cultivation base, which has not been nearly 100 years old, had a hint of progress at this time. The effect of this dragon meat was much greater than he had imagined. Suddenly everyone in the Great Hall felt that the spiritual qi was strong, and a white cyclone occurred over the Great Hall. This was one of the 18th riders in Yanyan who wanted the foundation building. Everyone dare not to disturb. If the human race has a foundation building beast, they will be weaker. Everyone is quietly tasting the own dragon meat. At this time, the Shantian realm has begun to break through, and the entire Great Hall looks like a cultivation field. Huakai felt that there are 3 Shantian Zochins in the palace in the breakthrough, and there is also a Shantian Zochin in the Heavenly Horse Field area in the Foundation building. After a while, he can sense that there are 6 people in the Foundation building in the area. What a rare occasion this is. Wachung's spiritual qi and sufficient willpower, coupled with the supplement of this dragon meat, make it easier for people to break through the barrier. After more than an hour, Wakai has eaten up the dragon meat in the golden ding in front of him, and he asked the maid to continue. Add meat to him, and the 2 Shantian realms in the Great Hall have completed their breakthrough. They clasped their hands in the direction of Wakai to express their gratitude. King of China, the dragon meat is so effective, I don't know if it can be divided into parts of Chu. If there is a large amount of dragon meat, Chu will have a lot of ascension. The king of Chu asked the maid to add meat to him, and he was right. Wakai said. There is still a lot of dragon meat. The king of Chu wants to exchange it with strange stones and elixir. There is 4,000 gold per catty of dragon meat on the market. If you want to buy it at the price of 2,000 gold per catty of dragon meat, Huakai said loudly. The price is probably too expensive. The dragon meat is as long as 100 feet, and its weight exceeds 1,000,000 stones. Wang Lu couldn't help but ask in surprise when he heard this. He originally wanted to buy some more dragon meat at the price of Lu Guo. You can buy thousands of gold at most. Although the Jiaolong is big, it is a rare existence in this world. Perhaps the world has always been a great demon. China spent an unimaginable price to kill it, and then transport him back. It is impossible to take him back in a few years. It eats it all. This is to be given to future generations for a century or even 1,000 years. 2,000 gold per catty is not expensive at all. A medium-grade demonic beast's meat is worth more than 1,000 gold per catty. Wakai said. Everyone nodded when they heard this. Huakai must have paid an unimaginable price for hunting this dragon. If the price of dragon meat is too low, what is the difference from sending them? Eat so much, I want to take it away and spend money to buy it. Because Wakai said that today's dragon meat order is half price, so the dragon feast is not over yet, and many people have already begun to consider how much they will buy back. Today, everyone in the Shantian realm of Zochin breakthrough bottleneck scene, everyone can see that even if you don't have the money to buy more, you can buy less for some strong people in the bottleneck stage to try. If there is an additional foundation building realm, then it's not. Thousands of gold coins can be measured. Huakai asked all those who needed dragon meat to find Shui Chen, and noted down the quantity needed. When the banquet was over, the 2 parties could exchange it. Many people went to Shui Chen to register. 90%. Chapter 515 King Han and Zhang Can. When the dragon meat was almost used, the palace ladies took down the spirit wine and presented them with spirit fruit and refreshments, and everyone slowly tasted it. Today's banquet is quite harmonious. Everything that China promotes is in the interests of everyone sitting, but the Qi Guzhong Foundation building is a bit unstoppable, and they look at Huakai's direction from time to time. After some monarchs and Shui Chen completed the statistics of the dragon meat they needed, some people also asked the Wahia dragon liver, dragon lung, etc. if they were sold, and others asked about dragon scales and dragon skins. Each pair is 100,000 gold, which discourages many people. After the king of Chu asked about the price of some elixir and strange stones he brought, he ordered 1,000 catties of dragon meat and 20 sets of dragon scale armor, and left after bidding farewell to Wakai. K bid farewell, and they will all go to the Foreign Affairs Department of the State Council of China to discuss future cooperation with China. Only King Han, Qi Guzhong Foundation building and a few core members of the Hua family are left in the Great Hall. King Han did not redeem the bet he promised. The foundation building of Qi Guzhong wanted to hear how Huakai handles the state of Qi. Nowadays, more families and people in Qi state flee, but they can't wait for a day. Rise. You can tell me about the current situation of Qi State's family. Wakai looked at the Qi State Foundation building and asked when he remembered when Qi State, one of the 7 heroes of the Central Plains, had reached such a stage. The entire Qi State's population is only half of the peak period, sitting on the land of King Zhou, but the people of the family are thinking about fleeing. Qi State is almost completely chaotic, no matter which gold core monarch wants to take over Qi State. A simple thing. Back to the King of China. King Zhou originally had 11 families with the 3rd rank and above, 28 foundation building families, 16 4th rank families, more than 76th rank families, and more than 459 rank families. Since the first battle between China and Qin last year, many families have defected to China or Qin, and now there are 4 third-rank families, 13 sixth-rank or higher families, and 9 rank or higher families, a total of 180 families, with insufficient strength, 30% in its heyday. This Qi State Foundation building has the 6th floor of the foundation building cultivation base, and is already the strongest in Qi State. The situation is so serious. How do you think China can help you? Huakai looked at a few people and asked. For the country of China today, the 4 counties are already the best structure for him today, and no one will be in the future. Knowing how rampant the wild beasts would be, Huakai had to take over the Qi country, and he had to be responsible for the people of the Qi country, like Qin Zheng did to take the king of Qi away from the entire Qi country and ignore it, but the country of China could not do it. The king of China once said that the Qi family was responsible for the 6 countries and 5 counties affiliated to Qi, and the Qi family must not be responsible. Now, the 4 major families have negotiated and decided, and all follow the instructions of the king of China. If the king of China cannot protect Qi, we are willing to bring all the people of Qi State to China to survive. Qi State Foundation building said. Huakai was silent. Qi country is now in a mess. The Hua family came from Qi country. How can he not know how Qi's power is distributed? Qi's system of ruling the world by the family is the most stable, but it is also the most difficult thing to change, as if it is one thing to save the Qi State system, it is another thing to save the Qi State wild beast. China's annexation of Qi is not what I want. The area of Qi is not much different from that of China today. Qi has only a population of about 1 million, while China has more than 6 million people. The income of Qi is not as good as that of a year. There are more than 30% of Shacheng. Why do you want it? But I can't watch Qi State being swallowed by the wild beasts, which will be a disaster for the entire human race in the world. Maybe I can hold Shacheng and let the wild beasts go west to kill Qin's territory, but I don't want to go this way. Qi was merged into China, and all aristocratic families must accept the rule of the Chinese family, and the 3 institutions of China must be managed. I will send people from the 3 major institutes to manage Linzi City as soon as possible. Before the end of this year, the 6 countries of Qi will be abolished and divided into 5 counties. All cities with less than 10,000 people will be abandoned, and only 3 can be left in each county. In the city, 6 in Linzi City area can be reserved. Huakai said. In today's view, China's country has taken a step forward. In the most critical time, China has to deploy a large part of its combat power, so as to transform itself from the Northeast Security Zone into the Central Plains Dangerous Zone. The country may be pulled into the abyss. But accepting Qi is also good for China. The first is fame. At this time, China is taking over Qi. No one will think that this is an occupation, because the king of Qi has already left Qi, and all the good things that can be taken have been taken away. China can't get too much if it is occupied. Supplies. The second is the people's support. Today, the only people who can save the people of Qi are Huakai, King Qin, and King Chu. Although King Han has the strength of the Gold Core realm, the people of his country can give up and escape. How could it be for the people of Qi and demonic beasts? Go desperately. While Huakai came from Qi, China's influence in Qi has been growing in recent years. The people of Qi are actually looking forward to making Huakai their king. There is another reason. The Tian family originally wanted to replace the Qi family and become the lord of Qingzhou. It was the reason of the Hua family that made the Tian family such a second-rank family shattered. In the end, the Qi country could only be taken over by Zhongshen Sage. Zhongshen Sage could not manage the whole Qi state, leading Qi state to this step. The third aspect is that if the country of Qi is taken, all the commercial roads from China to the country of Lu will be opened. If this commercial road is managed and operated by the Chinese family, the entire Central Plains will be driven by the country of China, and the country of China can have its own influence. Better spread to all parts of the Central Plains. The fourth benefit, of course, is to complete the 11th mission. Every time Huakai sees the system's mission rewards, he hopes to create a mission earlier, but now the 9th mission is only 1 item unfinished. Main Mission 11. Promotion to the first rank family. Task requirements. 1. The family's comprehensive strength reaches 1 million points, and all attributes exceed 100,000 points completed. 2. The host enters the Gold Core realm, and the number of family foundation building realms reaches 10 completed. 3. The territory reaches the state level, with a population breakthrough of 2 million unfinished. 4. The total strength value of allies exceeds 1 million, the number of allies above the second rank exceeds 5, and the total strength value of affiliated forces exceeds 500,000 completed. 5. The loyalty of family members reaches 95 points or more, completed. 6. The family owns a world-class industry, completed. 7. 3 family members with SSS or higher qualifications, completed. 8. The average qualification of family members is above B, completed. 9. The establishment of an own country with a population of more than 300,000 in the capital, completed. The 11 rewards of the main mission. The Night Shattering Gun, Intermediate Immortal Soldier, Golden Crown, Low-Level Immortal Weapon, Lingyantai, Superior Spirit Array, Qualification, Pill 100 Bottles, Random. If you can get rewards for the main task, Huakai and the entire country of China will inevitably get ascension, even if it is worth the burden of one more Qi country. When the wild beasts in the world settled down, China occupies 9 counties, covering an area of more than 400,000 square kilometers, and it also has a foundation to compete with Qin and Chu for the world. Seeing that Huakai agreed to incorporate the state of Qi into China, the foundation building of Qi state hurriedly paid the monarch's gift to Huakai. From then on, they became the courtiers of Huakai. Huakai asked a few of them to return to Lindsay City first, with a few books on the system of various industries in China, so that the entire Lindsay City can prepare for the preliminary work. Before the end of this year, the 5 counties of Qi country must complete the new government system transformation. After a few people left, Huakai looked at King Han in the audience. He told everyone to leave and came down to the steps to look at King Han with a look of fear. Korea used to be the 4th largest country in the world. It has fought with Qin for hundreds of years without losing. This time, it was so defeated by Qin, which made people in the world never expect. If you are afraid of Qin Zheng, South Korea cannot become the 4th strongest country in the world, why not flee without fighting? Huakai looked at Han Wang and said. King Han's eyes moved, and he looked at Huakai. Qin is not as strong as South Korea. I don't want to die in Qin Zheng's hands. You may not really want to fight Qin Zheng, but there must be other reasons for this, let me guess. It's my teacher, right? He is known as the most talented sage in the world, and he has been doing it all the time. In order to weaken the state of Qin, Confucianism has been suppressed by the state of Qin in recent years, and even Qin Zheng has massacred Confucian students in many cities, but Confucianism has been hidden among the people of the family. They are waiting for this world's kings to be miserable. They will come out to save the world again. The family can be destroyed, the country can be destroyed, but the school is difficult to destroy, and there are 3 sages in Confucianism, and 2 sub-sages. Huakai looked at Han Wang and said softly. You know that this world dispute is originally a dispute between the king and the philosophers of 100 schools of thought, so you have been prepared and wanted to get out of the matter, so Korea can be so clear and easy to be breached, but if you die today, you have all your preparations. It's all gone, Huakai said, looking at King Han. Huakai's teacher once participated in Sage. When he was in the Central Plains, he was afraid that Qin sweeping the world would not be able to stop him, so he organized 100 students to fight Qin together and blocked Qin Zheng from Zheng. He watched Qin a little bit. The territory of the country is expanding, and the military strength is in ascension, but it is sitting on the ground of Qi Guojixia Academy. The purpose is to sit on a high platform and watch the people who are beaten by the kings in chaos. When the kings die in battle, when the order of the world needs to be maintained, Confucianism will come out in time to increase the influence of the university on the human race. You are completely betting on the side of the 100 families. You know that Qin Zheng will die. As long as he dies, the world will be chaotic. When the heroes come together, you will have the possibility of dominating the world. You can be the last fisherman, right? But why did you suddenly appear in the palace of China today? It was my teacher who asked you to come. He saw that Qin Zheng didn't have much time and gave up most of the city in the occupied area. Therefore, the power of the human race is weakening. My teacher wants me to raise the banner of peace and reduce the loss of the world. You come. Let me clean it up and show it to the princes of the world. Waiting for you to be weak. Many people will look down on you and do not regard you as a real enemy, but as long as Qin Zheng is killed and South Korea shows others in another manner, everyone will see the true strength of South Korea. It's just that what you didn't expect was that if you didn't have to pretend in front of me, you would really be beaten and defeated, and there was no way to fight it. Huakai said. 91%. Chapter 516 Two Immortal Soldiers. Hearing what Huakai said, Han Wang couldn't laugh. Today he thought he was acting in a scene, but the end result was that he was almost beaten to death. The things he bet with Wakai actually participated in Sage. Prepared for him. I have never stopped any school from spreading in China, and I also welcome teachers or other sages to China. Although China does not govern the country by academics, the influence of hundreds of scholars in China is not small, and the prosperity of Shacheng. I believe the teacher can also see that more than 100 newspapers in Shacheng nowadays have different ideas every day, and they have also helped China solve many existing problems. You put down your things and go. It's your business if you want to go on, but if you let me know that you damage the interests of the human race for your rights, I will kill you. Wakai looked at Han Wang and said. King Han left behind a bunch of elixir and strange stones. Wakai looked at the piece of Wujin that was one head higher than him, and nodded in satisfaction. Wujin is considered to be one of the heaviest strange stones among all the strange stones. Such a piece weighs more than 60,000 catties. Wakai put all the strange stones and elixir into his portable space, and when he came to the conference hall, Shui Chen was waiting for him here. My lord, this time the foundation buildings of various countries have all lost their money. Many rare elixir and strange stones have been taken out. The dragon meat has been replaced by more than 34,000 jin. Shui Chen said with a smile, and the dragon meat of China was returned. There are many, but these are nearly 70 million gold elixir and strange stones. With these backgrounds, the Hua family will suddenly surpass all the countries in the Central Plains. The significance of a flood dragon is simply unimaginable. Wakai took over the spirit medicines and strange stones that Shui Chen handed him. Among them, there were more than 20 spirit treasures of the will type, nearly 100 spirit medicines of the 9th rank, and more than 130 spirit treasures of the spirit treasure. In addition, the number of 4th rank and 5th rank strange stones is also very large. The number of strange stones exceeds 20,000, so that China has not collected so many high-quality elixir and strange stones for 10 years. The core members of the Hua family are also very excited. This time they can refine a lot of spirit pills, spirit soldiers, and spirit armors. Maybe they can also refine elixir or fairy tools. Let's go. Let's take a look. Wakai said with a smile, looking at everyone in the chamber. Huakai and the core members of the family came to the blacksmith shop. What everyone cares about most is whether they can refine an immortal tool, which is decisive for a country. Huakai put all the strange stones on the ground, and everyone put all the strange stones on the shelf together. One by one, the previous gray weapon signs were lit, and finally saw a fairy artifact pattern lit on the top. Everyone laughed happily. When all the strange stones are put on the shelf, a total of 4 icons will be lit, but one of the strange stones is used on the 3 immortal artifacts, so they can forge 2 immortal artifacts. One of the scorching sun flame scale spear belongs to the 1st rank fairy soldier. The attribute of fire is most liked by everyone. China is more unique than the long spear, and the split air spear method is the root of the Hua family, so I must choose this one. The only gun-type weapon that can be forged. This scorching sun flame scale spear belongs to the attributes of fire, and it needs to be transformed into the gods to achieve its full effect. China is the most suitable for use than Shui Chen. Wakai looked at the scorching sun flame scale spear that was lit up. Said. My lord, you should use it yourself. I don't know when you can condense the gold core. You still use the Gentiana gun. This scorching sun scale gun is tens of thousands of times stronger than the Gentian gun anyway. Shui Chen returned. Hehe, I will have a better weapon soon. You are now on the 9th floor of the foundation building realm. You are not far from the foundation building realm Zochin. It will not be a problem to condense the gold core within 10 years. Gun no one below gold core will be your opponent. Wakai said. This burning sun flame scale spear uses 260 kilograms of black gold, 3,000 pieces of the most detailed dragon scales at the point of the dragon scales, and more than 60 kinds of other strange stones. The family luck value required for forging is 3.29 million points. But family space requires the most luck. Huakai chose the master Shui Chen and clicked on forging. Hua's luck value dropped by a large amount. I saw light flashing in the synthesis frame, and a gorgeous spear appeared in the synthesis frame. Huakai went to extract it. The scorching sun flame scale spear was floating in the air. As soon as he grasped the scorching sun flame scale spear, the gun suddenly disappeared from his hands and appeared in front of Shui Chen. Immortal artifacts have spirits, which are countless times more precious than the top-grade spirit treasures. The only treasure Wakai has seen that can reach the level of immortal artifacts is Qin Zheng's Blood Dragon Stone. As soon as Shui Chen mental energy moved, the scorching sun flame scale spear disappeared out of thin air and appeared in his sea of consciousness. This scorching sun flame scale spear will turn into a void and stay in his consciousness sea, constantly ascension his will. At the same time, it made his sea of consciousness more stable. Everyone looked at Shui Chen enviously. They knew that the Hua family was qualified to own the burning sun flame scale gun. Only Hua Kai, Hua Mo, Shui Chen, plus Wu Ren Tuya. These four talent is the core existence of Wahia. Scorching sun scale spear forging is completed, and now only Hunyuan black gold stick is left on the fairy tool icon. Everyone looks at Hunyuan black gold stick belongs to the third rank fairy soldier, and the most needed for forging is Wu Jin. The 48,000 Jin Wu Jin used this as the time he has seen the most expensive stone, but who should use this Hunyuan Wu Jin stick? Wukong has never taken advantage of divine armament. Every time he uses his fists in battle, he can't exert his maximum strength. This Hunyuan Wu Jin stick should be the most suitable for Wukong. Hua Xing said on the side. The core members of the Hua family have long regarded Wukong as a member of the family. Now Wukong is also a major force in the Hua family, especially in the fight against demonic beasts. Without it, it would be difficult for Huakai to kill demonic beasts alone. Huakai clicked to select the user of Hunyuan Wujin stick as Wukong, but it was really feasible. Wahia's gas luck value is still 12.7 million. Forging Hunyuan Wujin stick requires gas luck value of 6.1 million. Huakai chooses to forge. A dazzling golden light flashed, and another fairy soldier was born. If it weren't in the family space, the immortal soldier might be born in heavenly tribulation, and it would take some twists and turns to recognize the Lord. Everything is omitted in this family space. Huakai looked at the Hunyuan Wujin stick floating in the air. He tried to use mental energy to contact the other party. As a result, the Hunyuan Wujin stick flew to the corner of the blacksmith shop. Huakai mental energy communicated with Wukong, and Wukong's figure soon appeared in the blacksmith shop. Woo! Squeak! Wukong saw Hunyuan Wujin cudgel eyes light up. He slowly walked forward and gently stroked Hunyuan Wujin cudgel, as if communicating with the other party. Feeling the cordial feeling with Hunyuan Wujin stick, Wukong held the Hunyuan Wujin stick and danced lightly for a few times. Everyone could feel the powerful power contained in this fairy soldier. Wukong, try to put it away. Hua Kai said to Wukong. Wukong had a meal, and the Hunyuan Wujin stick disappeared into his hand, but after a while, Wukong took out the Hunyuan Wujin stick and screamed happily in his hand, showing that he had a new weapon to himself like it. Everyone smiled and nodded when they saw this. In this way, China's strength has increased a lot. Although China only has a gold core level from Huakai, Wukong and Xiaoqiang are both tier 8 strengths, and the top combat power is no longer as good as Qin. Worse. The remaining strange stones can also forge more than 30 pieces of spirit armor, which is much harder to forge than spirit soldiers. In this way, most of the core members of the Hua family can have spiritual armor protection, and the safety can also be greatly ascension. There is no problem for the remaining high-level strange stones to forge 100 pieces of spirit weapon. Huakai wants to forge spirit weapon for all foundation building loyalty points above 80 points, and then try our best to give the qualified Shantian realm a perfect weapon, so everyone with the strength to fight and slay demonic beasts, the ascension China of the foundation building will be more secure. The spirit armor and spirit soldiers are not in a hurry to forge. Wait until the family's luck value ascension reaches 10 million, and then slowly forge it no later. Wakai and the core members of the Hua family came to the pill refining room and put all the spirit medicines in medicine shelf. There is only one kind of elixir lit up here. This kind of elixir is called 5 Zhang Daihui Dan, which regulates the balance of the body's willpower. Ascension refines the body's true qi purity, can eliminate physical impurities and repair the body's most hidden pains and defects, even the soul and willpower. If Lian Po takes 1 5 Zhang Di Fu Dan, the whole body injury will be fully recovered, the body will be balanced, and breakthrough bottleneck becomes very easy, but I don't know if Qin Zheng takes a 5 Zhang Di Fu Dan. Recovered from the injury, Hua Kai couldn't help but think. Many big families that have been passed down for thousands of years have kept some rare strange stones. If they had the opportunity, they could turn the strange stones into combat power, and it would be too difficult to forge a spiritual weapon. Most of the elixir can be taken directly, so there are more strange stones stored in the family than the elixir, and the level is much higher. In the evening, all the core members of the Hua family gathered in family space. Everyone was very happy with the great harvest of the Hua family today, especially when there were 2 more fairy soldiers. Second uncle, you ask the Bank of China to pay more attention to where there are high-level strange stones in the Central Plains, and you can exchange them with dragon meat. Every strange stone above 5th rank may be a fairy soldier for us. I will let the intelligence department also pay attention. Everyone knows the situation of Qi State. Shui Chen, you will arrange personnel to lead a team to Qingzhou tomorrow to establish the 5-county system and restore order to all cities as soon as possible. Take all the regiments. Tang Lei, take the Undead Legion with you, too. The most important thing for China this year is to restore the order of Qi. From Xiacheng to Lu, the situation in Qi is much more serious than that in China. You must clean up the beasts of Qi, especially in Lu. All the beasts on the trade road. All the post and pavilions are built in the shape of a castle, and the scale and level are organized according to the small city. This commercial road is very important to China in the future. Hua Kai said. 91%. Chapter 517. The 11th main quest completed. This time the sale of dragon meat in China received nearly 5 million taels of gold, which is enough for the new construction of Qingzhou in the next few years. A total of more than 2,600 miles from Xiacheng to Jiaguguan in Lu will require the establishment of more than 10 acropolises. With more than a dozen pavilions and post stations, the main task of China this year is to eliminate the wild beasts in the 5 counties of Qingzhou. It is considered good that the construction of commercial roads can be completed within 3 years. The next work for Huakai and Wamo is the Dongling Mountain Range, continuing to transform all mountains into flat land, because after Qingzhou becomes the territory of China, the Dongling Mountain Range is already regarded as the internal mountain range of China, and there is no Dongling Mountain Range. All wild beasts and wild beasts lose their living environment, and China will have an additional plain of tens of thousands of square kilometers. Entering April, most of the officials from the entire country of China were transferred to Qingzhou. Qingzhou was transformed into 5 counties of China. Many people in Qi country clapped their hands to celebrate. However, there are still some families who choose to fight against China because of China. The 3 branches were established in their cities, and most of their families' rights would be lost. Hua Kai, the rebels, did not treat them politely and directly suppress them. The rebels in Qingzhou have not caused much trouble, because ordinary people are on the side of China, and the great family of Qi has already taken refuge in China. They are helping the 3 major institutions to establish a new order. In just 2 months, the 5 counties order has been restored, the selected city walls of the major cities are being built, and the people of some small cities have all been relocated to these major cities. The 3 major legions of China and the Undead Legion are busy purging the wild beasts all day long. Now Shui Chen, a junior demonic beasts, can handle it by himself. Only when he encounters 3 or more junior demonic beasts or intermediate demonic beasts will he ask Huakai for help. For so long, Shui Chen has not found an intermediate demonic beasts in Qingzhou. Huakai couldn't help sighing the good terrain of Qingzhou, the eastern seawater transportation is developed, and there are not too many demonic beasts. There are no large mountains on the land for the demonic beasts to live in, and the fertile land here is much better than the other 3 counties of China except Takayanagi. On this day, Huakai was hiding in a valley, and there was a sound of fighting in the distance. This was a junior demonic beasts that had just entered the Dongling Mountains from other places. Huakai and Wamo discovered when they were reconstructing the terrain of the Dongling Mountains. It, and Wukong is leading the other party in his direction. After waiting for a few minutes, Huakai heard that the fighting in the distance had stopped. Huakai flew out of the valley and saw a giant bird lying not far away. Wukong was standing beside it with the Hunyuan Wujin stick. Huakai asked Wukong to hide his strength and don't force demonic beasts to explode, but in recent times, Wukong has often been able to kill demonic beasts alone. Huakai only needs to be responsible for collecting the corpse. Wukong stood next to the giant bird's corpse, gently stroking his own stick, as if it were his beloved mother monkey. When he saw Huakai coming over, it pointed at the giant bird's corpse and expressed his own merits to Huakai. System reminder. The 11th mission of the main line is completed. Please receive the reward as soon as possible. The main mission 12th is being generated. Main task 12. Establish a family dynasty. Task requirements. 1. The country's comprehensive strength reaches 10 million points, and all attributes exceed 1 million points completed. 2. The host enters the Gold Core realm and the number of family Gold Core realms reaches 3 unfinished. 3. The territory area reaches 500,000 square kilometers, and the territory population is breakthrough 10 million unfinished. 4. Popularity reached 80 points. Undone. 5. The loyalty of family members reaches 95 points or more. Completed. 6. Establish and improve the national public security system, institutional system, and financial system. Completed. 7. The number of people with national S and above qualifications reaches 1,000. Undone. 8. The average qualification of family members is above B. Unfinished. At this time, the long-lost system prompt sounded in my mind. After so many years, Huakai felt extremely cordial when hearing this familiar voice again. Huakai directly extracts the 11 rewards of the main task. Each of the 4 items is very important to China today. Huakai took out the scary night gun to take a closer look. This scary night gun was completely black, and the gun body was carved with some exquisite animal patterns. Huakai injected true chi still wanted to escape, thanks to Wakai's constant attention, and didn't let him escape. Mental energy injected scary night gun. Wakai felt as if he was in the sun's heat. He tried to communicate with the spirits in the scary night gun, and suddenly a powerful mental energy surrounded him. All mental energy. Wakai, I feel like I have entered an unfamiliar world. The land is barren, the sky is dark, and all kinds of huge beasts are walking on the ground. Huakai feels that these strange-looking beasts are all of the strength of the big demon. This place should belong to the ancient times, period. Legend has it that there were no human beings in the Hengu period, and all wild beasts only cultivated their flesh, heaven and earth, and their will is very fragile. This place is very similar to the legendary Hengu period. There is no sun in the sky, and the world is dark. Suddenly Wakai felt a powerful willpower coming, a light and shadow flashed from the sky, and the whole earth was shining brightly. All the wild beasts came here when Wakai saw it clearly. The look of these beasts. Some of them have long wings, some have only 1 foot, some giant beasts move slowly, and the whole body exudes a faint light. After this light passes, everything is calm again, but Wakai feels that this world is between the earth and the earth. A quiet change is taking place. The white light was an energy that Huakai had never seen before. After the giant beasts absorbed the energy, their bodies continued to grow. They bit the weak giant beasts, and before long there was only a huge crocodile on the ground. Turtle, it roared in the darkness. Wakai knew that the light was emitted by the twisting night spear. His mental energy sank into the void and felt that the twisting night spear belongs to the attribute of light. This is a special force of will and its attack power is strong. It is much stronger than the legendary will of thunder, but the will of light also has a unique effect, that is, healing. Wakai sensed the snapping turtle in this behemoth world, and time walked unconsciously. Wakai didn't know how long he stayed in this world. When he opened his eyes, he felt the twisting night spear lying quietly in the sea of his consciousness. This twisting night spear belongs to the 6th rank fairy soldier and can transform the power of the 5 elements will into the will of light. It can also decompose the will of light into 5 elements willpower. Night gun ability to absorb the will of heaven and earth on its own, and store it in its own gun body. Huakai can directly use to kill the enemy. The crisis is similar to the special energy in his gold core, and it can also be used to heal injuries. In this way, Huakai is equivalent to mastering the will of light. He can use 2 powers of will, but will of light is controlled by the scary of light. Huakai can only recover by himself with the scary of light, the energy stored inside ascension. In addition, the power of the Jia gun is many times greater than the Genshin gun, and it also has the effect of suppressing the national fortune. It is really an intermediate fairy soldier. Looking at the Jinxia crown again, this 2nd rank fairy Huakai is wearing it on his head, and I feel that the entire sea of consciousness is moving much faster. As long as spiritual chi moves mental energy, this golden crown will quickly enter the willpower he needs and spiritual chi into his body, so whether it is cultivation or combat, the effect is heaven-defying. After seeing the 2 fairy artifacts, Wakai was already happy from ear to ear. With these 2 fairy artifacts, plus his sweeping Sha Yi, he has no fear of Qin Zheng at all, and this Jinxia crown can make his cultivation speed ascension as several times, which is what he values most. Looking at the last one of the best spirit array Ling Yantai, it is much worse than those 2 immortal artifacts. Ling Yantai, the completion of the pattern array can greatly increase the concentration of spiritual chi and the power of will. It is possible to place mental energy in the world and feel the avenue of heaven and earth. This is a place suitable for realm discussion above the foundation building level. Huakai originally planned to build Ling Yantai in Shachang, but seeing the main task 12 requirements, it is not easy for Wachang to break through 1 million people. He plans to expand Wachang as soon as possible. As for how to expand and family the core members can only be determined after consultation. The last 100 bottles of qualification Dan, Huakai had good luck. Among them, the premium qualification Dan reached 29 bottles. Now the qualification Dan is of little significance to China. The 29 bottles of qualification Dan are at most 290 more level qualification talent, but this is very important for Wahia. The Hua family's direct line has these qualifications, so there will be no people with too poor qualifications. Only more people in the Hua family will take on important responsibilities, and the remaining descendants will have high qualifications in the future. After reading the rewards of all races, Huakai had the intention to look at the rewards of the main task 12. Sky Nian Xian level primary spirit treasure, the king's car, with the universe inside, can resist all physical attacks below the Hua Shen realm, shield mental energies detection, and weaken the enemy's 50% willpower attack. 9 cycles gold core, 9 cycles pill. After taking it, you will obtain the Shantian hybrid body, the cultivation base will get a large ascension, and the lifespan will increase by thousands of years. Qingqiu Mountain 1, a fairy-level spirit mountain that can raise 9-tailed spirit foxes. Qualification Dan, 100 bottles, Ascension cultivation qualification after taking it. Huakai is looking at the rewards of the main task 12 missions. The main task 12 is not out of reach in Huakai's view. How the average qualification of the Ascension family Huakai already has experience, in addition to the hard power requirements of the family, now it is popular with Ascension. At 80 o'clock, he still doesn't know what's going on. It should be the most difficult for the entire country of China to have more than 1,000 people with S and above qualifications, because up to now there are only 100 people with S and above qualifications in China. Without a large number of advanced medicine pills, China can only wait for newborn children to grow up to 12 years old, so that their qualifications can be displayed. Hua Kai opened his eyes and saw Wukong staring over his head in front of him. Hua Kai hid the golden crown in the sea of consciousness. He put away his old man Gentiana gun on the ground, and only one can be stored in the sea of consciousness. The weapon can only be reforged by returning it to the furnace. 91%. Chapter 518. In July of the 6th year of China, there was an endless stream of caravans arriving in China from the central plains and the grasslands. Many family members followed the caravans to China and became refugees. They were arranged in all walks of life in China, and these days the various examinations of the Government Affairs Council have begun again. This time, the various departments of the Government Affairs Council need tens of thousands of middle and low-level officials. Many people are enthusiastically signing up, and some training courses born out of exams have begun to become popular in major cities in China. Officials in China do not require men and women, and sometimes you can see a girl waiting in line to sign up. The medicine pill obtained from selling dragon meat was quickly digested by China, and a large amount of pill was taken by 11 SS plus qualified persons from Huakai, Wamo, Shui Chen, and Warentuya. China needs more gold core to appear, so as to establish a dynasty belonging to the Hua family. A few days ago, Wamo has come to the foundation building realm to achieve great consummation. It is only one step away from the gold core realm. It is the most difficult step to reach this stage. When will Wamo break through to see Wamo's own good fortune? Wamo recorded the terrain speed of the Dongling Mountains faster than before. According to the current progress, as long as you take a few more mental energy recovery pills, the entire Dongling Mountains can be completely transformed before the winter comes. Huakai is busy burning mountains and changing land every day. The pictures in the mountain and river map have also begun to emerge from nothing. In half a year, more than 70,000 square kilometers of land have been included. Huakai intends to smooth the entire Dongling Mountains with Zhongshan County. Connected, he piled up all the excess soil and stones in the mountains on the west side of Weisung Fortress, expanding Weisung Fortress into a big city that can accommodate 1 million people. Hua Kai looked at a large mountain in the distance and he transformed it into a flat ground. He has continuously transformed hundreds of square kilometers of mountains. Now mental energy is also a bit bad. A golden crown suddenly appeared on Hua Kai's head. His Will Zili and Truchi were recovering quickly, and Wamo appeared by his side at this time. Wamo, like Hua Kai, has not left in the Dongling Mountains recently. With his current strength, it is easy to meet the intermediate demonic beasts and there is no danger. If mental energy is not enough, he will enter the family secret realm space to rest. After enough rest, come out and continue to collect the terrain, and work in turn with Huakai, so that the Dongling Mountain range can be reconstructed so quickly. Brother, just now Uncle Wu came to the news that the state of Qin has begun to advance to Hanjiang County, and it should be about to retake Hanjiang County. The news of Chu State's request for help should come soon. Wamo said. This year's Jiaolong banquet formed a security alliance of the Six Nations, and fighting together against Qin was the main content. Qin actually kicked off the battle at this time. According to the agreement, the Six Nations must attack Qin at the same time, which would involve Qin. China needs to send troops from Zhongshan County to attack the defending region, while Yan needs to send troops to attack Yan, Zhang, Shui, Hung and other places. The entry of the Yuezhi Kingdom and the Xiongnu Kingdom into Shaoguan implicated the forces in the northern part of the Qin Kingdom. Qin cannot fight with the Six Nations at the same time. The Azure Dragon Corps has already been in Yuncheng of the Lu State. Donghu County and Baishan County each sent 20,000 cavalry to Zhongshan County, and Zhongshan County dispatched 50,000 troops to Weihou with a total of 90,000 troops. At the border, if there is no order from me, or attack Qin Bing. Hua Kai said. In mid-July, a large-scale war broke out between the Kingdom of Qin and the Kingdom of Chu in Hanjiang County. The Kingdom of Chu, which Qin sent nearly 1 million people to fight, retreated steadily, and soon drove Chu soldiers to the vicinity of Wuguan. The Chu state was also fully conquering the areas of Zhoulai state and Kai state defended by the state of Qin. The Qin army here only had more than 100,000, and it was also defeated by the Chu army. The two sides were only exchanging territories. At this time, State Lu, however, an all-out counterattack began. More than 600,000 troops of the state of Lu attacked the territory of the state of Song. More than 200,000 troops of the state of Qin and the troops of the state of the Lu fought many battles. As a result, the troops of the state of Lu were killed and injured more than 100,000 and drove the troops of Qin out of the state of Song. Kingdom has been killed until the Xinjiang city of Zhengguo stopped. At this time, Qin also discovered that the 6 countries had begun to attack Qin at the same time. After taking Wuguan, they organized their defense. Facing the simultaneous offensive of the 6 countries, Qin could only give up the east of the Central Plains to the east of Zheng State. Shu Gui all the land in the south. Until the beginning of September, the land of the Qin kingdom was reduced by half, and they could only summon the elite to go to Hexi County to resist the attacks of the Yuan Huns. In just over 3 months, Qin lost more than 300,000 troops in the battle with the 6 countries, more than 20 major cities were occupied, and the population was less than 10 million, but it was still the largest country in the world. Chu state lost Hanjiang County, but gained twice as much territory as Hanjiang County and snatched nearly 1 million people from Qin state, so that he could sit back and relax as long as he defended Wuguan well. And the biggest gain from this war was the Kingdom of Lu. The Kingdom of Lu obtained land from Song, Chen, Cao, Dai, etc., suddenly surpassing Yan, with a population of close to 5 million, and became after Qin, Chu, and China the 4th strongest country. China got an enclave of more than 60,000 square kilometers in the defense of the country, and the country of Yan got an enclave of more than 20,000 square kilometers in the south of the country of Lu. If the 2 countries want to manage these lands, it will inevitably have to pay a great price. On September 9, the annual blind date meeting in China began again. This year the blind date meeting was held in Donghu County. In addition to the people of China, there were also young people from Yan, Xiongnu and Yushi. China has made an example of the integration of the grassland peoples and the people of the Central Plains. Everyone has followed this path to seek common ground while reserving differences. The annual blind date shows their own national characteristics. Examples of the combination of the Central Plains family and the grassland nobles are increasing. Many. Weisung, on the west side of Heavenly Horse Field, a loud earthquake sounded. Everyone in Weisung continued to live their lives without hearing it. Huakai has been transforming the west side of Huacheng for more than half a month, and now there is another Pingdingshan similar to it on the west of Pingdingshan. Huakai intends to build 4 Pingdingshan with similar area and shape, and then use a 30-meter wide mountain road to connect the 4 Pingdingshan connected. He plans to build a kilometer-high platform in the middle of the 4 mountains, and then build Lingyantai on the top of the middle mountain, making this a landmark building in China. Such a plan sounds huge, but it is quite easy to do it with the wahia of the mountain and river map. Huakai has reconstructed a new Pingdingshan in half a month, and he leads a road from the mountain road between the 2 mountains. The 10-meter wide river is enough for the people of Xinshantop to live in the future. In the future, Weisung Fortress will be divided into 4 districts. The East District is the old district of Weisung City, and the other 3 districts serve as new districts. The West has become a plain because of the mountains and will become the new pasture area of Weisung City. Several times more than Shacheng, it became the only super city in the Central Plains. Huakai is busy in the west of Weisung City, and the students of the Family Academy in Heavenly Horse Field are all studying. The Weisung Family Academy has been established for 10 years. There have been 4 students graduated here, and the total number of students has exceeded 1,200. They have become officials of various departments in China. The entire country of China knows that it is the most important to be an official to enter the Family Academy. It is easy. However, it is a problem that the graduation rate of Saga Academy has not exceeded 30%. Those who can graduate from Saga Academy are among the best in China. Wukong is fine recently. Demonic Beasts, one of the 9 major counties in China, has been cleaned up by him and Huakai several times. It can take a good rest at home recently. Walking leisurely on the racetrack, Wukong watched a group of students training riding skills. The students waved to it happily when they saw it. He raised his head proudly, as if he was the most popular person here. After walking through a few training areas, Wukong took out his own Hunyuan Wujin stick and walked to the crowd while dancing and showing it off to everyone, as if he was afraid that others would not know that he had a weapon. In the grade A class of the Family Academy, Hua Chengmin looked bored at the horse trainer riding a horse in the distance. His teacher was teaching the martial skill to his classmates. In this section, the teacher taught the split air spear technique. This is the most popular marksmanship of various universities in China. 12-year-old children can only learn the castrated version of the yellow-level advanced marksmanship. Hua Chengmin has learned the high-level split air spear. The teacher just demonstrated 3 tricks with him, and Hua Chengmin used the red sakura spear to easily touch his chest, so that the teacher did not dare to teach him anymore. Hua Chengmin was alone. Beside the classmates watching everyone working hard to practice martial skill, everyone looked at the youngest student in this class with a look of admiration. No one saw him feel jealous. Hua Chengmin thought that entering the academy would make it a little more interesting, but the academy included the best students from all the academies in China. He entered the first grade class A when he was less than 5 years old, and saw a group of 12-year-old children. In his opinion, these children did not have a trace of excellence at all. The martial skills were just getting started, and the learning speed was a mess. Hua Chengmin really can't bring up the interest in learning with these students, let alone competition. Moreover, these students all know that they are the sons of China, and the future king of China can't say anything polite to him. All the students, including the teacher, are sent to him as soon as possible. Hua Chengmin feels that this place is not much bigger than the palace. The difference. While sighing, Hua Chengmin looked up and saw a familiar figure. Wukong also saw Hua Chengmin, who was several heads shorter than ordinary students in the distance. He immediately put away his own Hunyuan Wujin stick, turned around and left. Wukong, here I am. Wukong, Hua Chengmin shouted loudly. Wukong knew that he couldn't avoid it. The whole palace, no, Shuo Wukong was only afraid of one person in the whole world, that was Hua Chengmin. It turned its head and watched Hua Chengmin walking towards it, with a bright smile on his face, as if he was very happy to see Hua Chengmin. Wukong, what did you see me running? When did you come back? Hua Chengmin said as he pulled Wukong over and touched him. Wukong smiled and signaled that he hadn't escaped. He enthusiastically expressed to Hua Chengmin that he would come back to play with him after he was busy. Where's your stick? I just saw your stick still there, so quickly take it out and let me play. Hua Chengmin looked for Wukong for a while, but didn't find what he wanted. Wukong looked at Hua Chengmin with a puzzled face, as if he didn't know what the stick he was talking about was. Just the golden stick you just played with, let me have a look, I will return it to you if I play, don't be stingy. Hua Chengmin grabbed Wukong's arm, with an expression that you don't want to leave unless you take it out. 91%. Chapter 519. Hua Chengmin grew up with Wukong and Xiaoqiang, because in this Huacheng, only Wukong and Xiaoqiang are the only ones who can play with him. Xiaoqiang was accidentally injured by him once, but Wukong has been playing with Hua Chengmin. So far, I haven't heard it once, so how can Hua Chengmin dislike Wukong? While Wukong signaled to Hua Chengmin that he had no stick, he was dragged on the grass by Hua Chengmin. His height is only half of Wukong's height, and it takes no effort to pull Wukong. Wukong pretended to be dead and motionless. He knew that Hunyuan Wujin stick could never be given to Hua Chengmin. After giving it to him, he would definitely pester him all day. Besides, Hunyuan Wujin stick weighed more than 80,000 jin, if Hua Chengmin couldn't take it to hurt him, or he hurt someone else. In the end, Hua Kai would definitely blame it. Wukong, just give me a look. I used to have good toys for you to play with. If you have good things hidden and not shown to others, this friend is selfish. Hua Chengmin sees if you can't do it hard, let go of Wukong and start to understand it with reason and move with affection. When Wukong heard Hua Chengmin say this, his face was tangled, and he said to Hua Chengmin words that only the other party could understand. No problem, I just take a look, I will definitely not take it away for you, it's here. Hua Chengmin promised Wukong. When Wukong stretched out his hand, the Hunyuan Wujin stick appeared in his hand. Hua Chengmin wanted to pick it up with his hand. Wukong motioned to him to get away. It put the Hunyuan Wujin stick on the ground, and the grass suddenly sank more than 2 feet deep. Hua Chengmin was intrigued when he saw this place. This Hunyuan Wujin stick was so beautiful, no wonder Wukong was reluctant to show it. Hua Chengmin grabbed the Hunyuan Wujin stick but didn't pick it up. Wukong looked at the latter with an air of air. This Hunyuan Wujin stick had already recognized the Lord, and Wukong didn't have to work hard to take it, but others wanted it. It has to bear all its weight. This is fun. Goku, let go, be careful I hurt you. The 5-year-old Hua Chengmin said to the gold core divine beast next to him. This makes people laugh out of their teeth. Wukong hurried away, but he knew that Hua Chengmin could really hurt him. If it weren't for his special talent, Hua Chengmin had been tortured since he was a child, and he might have died accidentally now. Hua Chengmin stood in front of the Hunyuan Wujin cudgel, with the power of will and internal organs running throughout his body, and the pure true qi wandered throughout his body. Even the teacher of the Shantian realm in this racecourse, true qi, is not as pure as it is. Holding a small hand on the Hunyuan Wujin cudgel, Hua Chengmin used his right hand to force his 2 feet into the grass for more than 4 inches. He grabbed the Hunyuan Wujin cudgel with one hand and danced in the air, and then plunged his head into the ground. That Hunyuan Wujin cudgel did not enter the grass but showed only one head. Wukong summoned Hunyuan Wujin cudgel. The fairy soldier heard the master's call and turned into a light into the sea of Wukong's consciousness. Wukong was relieved. If Hua Chengmin hurts himself or others, he will not escape the blame. Hua Chengmin sees the Hunyuan Wujin cudgel disappear, and looks at Wukong contemptuously. The petty ghost, just play it and take it away. It's still a friend. I will never play with you again after I have a toy. Hua Cheng said in a frantic voice. He also wanted to have a weapon as powerful as Wukong. Wukong squeaked and explained to Hua Chengmin that the two of them are friends who have grown up since childhood, and the relationship is the closest, and the entire country of China is also able to communicate normally between Hua Kai and Hua Chengmin and Wukong. At this time, the martial skill class was over, and the teacher called Hua Chengmin to return to the team. Hua Chengmin glanced at the partner beside him. If he didn't listen to the teacher, he would be punished. Let the father know that he was not obedient in the college. The consequences would be very serious. As the time entered October, the weather began to slowly become colder. All the merchant groups who went to the grassland for business came back one after another. The wool, horses and slaves of the grassland came back with them. The price of slaves in China has been getting higher and higher in recent years. The treatment of slaves is getting better and better. Many of the slaves who came back with the trade group are smiling and still thanking the trade group for their help. The population of China has grown in the past 10 years, and more than 2 million slaves and prisoners of war have been brought back from the grassland countries, which has almost caught up with the total population of the Huns. In addition to the strong and highly qualified grasslanders, China's population includes people from Qi, Yan, Lu, and Zhao. In addition, people from all countries in the Central Plains have basically fled to China. This is what Huakai hopes to see. As a posterity, Huakai certainly knows that the children of different ethnic groups are relatively strong. The world where he lived in his previous life and the strongest period of national history happened to be the most active period of intermarriage between the grassland people and the Central Plains. In recent years, Huakai has also seen that most of the children under the age of 13 in China were born in China. Their 12 children can now see their qualifications. Huakai has seen that these children have more than half of the will. They all surpass their parents, and it is so rare that 20% of children have the highest qualifications of their parents. In other words, as long as we wait for another 10 years to wait for the new birth of China and the children cultivated by China to grow up, the strength of China will become more prominent, and Huakai has the confidence to rely on its strength to suppress the world. Because the number of new births in China has exceeded 400,000 in recent years, that is to say, the total population of newborn children in China in 1 year is about the same as the total population of Lindsay. It took Huakai a month and a half to finally complete the transformation of the 3 new urban areas of Huacheng. He diverted water from the central lake in the East District to the other three mountains, and has set the future directions for the three districts. The Southern District belongs to the Life District. The West area belongs to the Student area, and the Military Academy and the Family Academy will move there in the future, and the North belongs to the Research area of Politics and Invention. At that time, the Eastern District will belong to the Royal Palace, Heavenly Horse Field, Lingtian, and tourist areas. Except for these four major parts, almost all have to migrate out. Weisung can finally be easier. October 27th. This is a memorable day, because the Chinese brothers finally transformed the entire Dongling mountain range and completed the entire Dongling mountain range over 200,000 square kilometers. It took them 5 years to eliminate demonic beasts. After a little bit of transformation into a plain, now there are only 5-mile-wide rugged forests left on the west side of the Dongling Mountains. The average height of the mountains is more than 1 kilometer. It is basically impossible for ordinary people to climb. Huakai opened a valley on the east side of Lingshou City in Zhongshan County. There are cliffs of hundreds of meters on both sides. The average width of the most road is 1 kilometer, and the narrowest point is only more than 200 meters. As long as a small fortress is built here, the whole east-west road it will be completely controlled by China. The road between Jialiu County and Zhao Country was opened up, so that from Weisung City to Handan City, there was only more than 700 miles left, which was more than 4 times shorter than before. China has done such a big thing, but it is silent, and everything seems very quiet. Huakai is worrying about defending the country. Huakai, the 5 largest cities in the country, would not do that. Now the entire Central Plains people are almost evacuated. Whoever stays there has to resist all the pressure. China cannot send its own elite to sacrifice for this. What it has to do now, it can only carry all the population and resources of the country. The 5 Central Plains countries continue to compete for the best governance of domestic wild beasts and who can persist in the endless wild beast attacks. Then it is time to test the comprehensive strength of the countries. At the beginning of November, the people of Weo came to the foot of Huacheng Mountain one after another. Tens of thousands of people entered the foot of Huacheng Mountain in a few days. The people of the country are well settled. Huakaijeng study checks the population summary of the Weo. The entire Weo was once a middle-ranked country with a population of nearly 1 million in the past, but now there are only more than 400,000 people who can go to China. The central part of the Central Plains has been the most densely populated for so many years. Locally, the population has fallen to less than half of the previous one. Suddenly, Huakai frowned, got up and walked out of the study. He flew to the edge of the lake in the center of Huacheng. Many people saw Huakai coming in this way and thought that something urgent had happened, so they all gave way to Huakai. Yan, Your Excellency came to China in this way. I'm afraid it's not the way to be a guest. Huakai looked at a man in black and a hat on his head and said, "Ha ha, the style of King China is still the same. Please forgive me if I take the liberty to disturb you. I wonder if we can find a place to talk again," King Yan said. Huakai saw King Yan appearing in Weisung. He didn't dare to see anyone because there must be some secret. No one knew where King Yan had gone for more than 5 years. Now that he came back to find Weisung, he must have something to say to Huakai. After all, the two countries have always been allies. Huakai took King Yan to the palace and entered the Huakai study. King Yan took off the hat. Huakai saw that King Yan was a lot younger than before. He felt that his cultivation base was also much higher than before. He should have arrived. Layer 7 of the gold core environment. The King of Yan has not been seen for more than 5 years. This is a big advance in strength. The whole world is thinking about when you will come back. Why did you suddenly come to my Huacheng today? Huakai sat down and poured a cup of tea for King Yan, and asked. Although this king has reached the late stage of the gold core realm, but with limited qualifications, there is no possibility of entering the transcendent god realm, but you are young and I can't even feel it. The possibility of entering the transcendent god realm in the future is very high. For the sake of ascension strength, I put down Yan state for more than 5 years, and spent countless lingbao to break through into the late stage of gold core. This time I came to Huacheng to make a deal with you. The King Yan looked at Huakai and said. Huakai also knows that King Yan has disappeared for more than 5 years this time, and the gain is bound to be significant, but he does not know the attitude of King Yan in the future, how to position Yan's status after his strength ascension. If he intends to compete with the Central Plains countries, then the situation may be possible. Is it getting complicated again? How does King Yan want to trade? Huakai looked at King Yan and said. I heard that China killed the big monster dragon and held a grand dragon banquet in Huacheng, with countless foundation-building monarchs in the world participating. I occasionally got some spirit treasures and strange stones here, and I want to change some dragon meat, dragon scale armor, etc. Ling Pil, Ling Bing, I wonder if it is possible. King Yan looked at Huakai and said. 91%. Chapter 520. The country of Yan and China have always been the most reliable allies. It is of course possible for King Yan to buy these. I don't know how much King Yan wants. Huakai asked with a smile. 1 million caddies of dragon meat, 500 dragon scale armors, 200 various spirit pills, 30 spirit soldiers, 10 spirit armors, and 1,000 treasure weapon treasures. King Yan said. Huakai was taken aback. So many things are no longer measurable by how much gold. I am afraid that if you sell Yan Guo, you will not be able to exchange these things. It seems that King Yan has gained a lot from leaving this time. With all the dragon scales of such a big dragon, at most thousands of dragon scale armors can be made, and King Yan actually asked for 500. As requested by King Yan, China can't get it out. With so many treasures, what is King Yan going to trade with? Huakai asked. The King of China, the Chinese family has its own secrets. The spirit pills and spirit soldiers must also be produced at a price, otherwise China would have ruled the world long ago. Yan country also has its own secrets, and it must be prepared to exchange with the King of China. The King Yan looked at Huakai and said. China and Yan are allies. So many things don't say how much China has paid. The materials alone may not be enough to collect in a few decades. Moreover, the high-level elixir and strange stones needed to forge elixir, and elixir. It's very hard to find. If King Yan deals sincerely, I can give you 10% of the goods you need. Huakai thought for a while and said. If so many things are really handed over to the country of Yan, the strength of the country of Yan will inevitably take off. By that time, the expansion of the country of Yan has been completely blocked by the country of China, and the possibility of war between the two countries will be even greater. Huakai does not want to concentrate. While fighting against Qin state, we must also beware of the powerful Yan state. China country, this king will show you a few things. King Yan said as he raised his hand. A small tree tall by one person hovered in front of the two of them. Huakai used mental energy to detect it, and he opened his mouth in surprise. This is the legendary Shantian spiritual roots pan peach tree. Huakai looked at the small tree in front of him and exclaimed. Yes, this is what the king occasionally got. This king can exchange this Shantian spirit tree with you. You must know that the flat peaches that this flat peach tree bears are immortal products, and the effect of prolonging life is not worse than that of a spirit pill. King Yan said. Huakai bowed his head and said nothing. After waiting for a while, he slowly said, King Yan, please come back. This flat peach tree China can't be planted. This flat peach is said to bloom in 1 year and bear fruit in 1,000 years. It takes 3,000 years for the flat peach to mature. Huakai couldn't wait for that time. King of China, the reason why this flat peach tree is called Shantian spiritual roots is because planting it can increase the spiritual qi in the area. Even if it fails to bear fruit, just planting it can affect the entire environment. King Yan also knows that, but with this flat peach the tree couldn't move Huakai either. When he first saw the flat peach tree, he was also very excited. In the end, he wanted to come to the flat peach tree to only increase the area spiritual qi. Since King Yan wants to trade with this king, as an ally, we should treat each other frankly. This king wants to know if the flood dragon captured by this king has anything to do with King Yan. Huakai asked. It seems that everything can't be kept from the king of China. This time the king went to Beihai to find a fairy island left over from ancient times. It took a lot of setbacks to enter the island. The flood dragon is the guardian monster of the fairy island. Was released by the king. On the island, the king got a lot of elixir, strange stones, and some spiritual treasures, and the king can trade a part with the king of China. Is there so much the king can say? The King Yan said. Where is Zhao Dan? Huakai asked suddenly. Wang Zhao was walking with this king, unexpectedly trapped in the illusion. This king tried to rescue him, and now he is healing. King Yan said something unnatural. Huakai knew that the two of them must have happened. After many stories, King Yan wanted to use the ascension of the spirit pill and the battle power of the kingdom of Yan, so even if he faced the kingdom of Qin, he was afraid. King Yan, China does not want to involve too much. This flat peach tree does not have a high value of dragon scale armor to China. If Yan Wang truly deals with it, China can do everything it can to give Yan country a batch of treasure weapon, but this king does not want anyone to know about it. Hua Kai said to King Yan. This is affirmative. Otherwise, it would be impossible for the king to meet with the king of China in this way. In recent years, Yan Guo has taken care of it thanks to King China. A strong Yan state will not pose any threat to China. The situation in the Central Plains is unstable. Yan state does not have the strength to fight for hegemony. This king will work hard to manage the northern grasslands and eliminate the nomadic tribes in the northeast, such as Shanbei, Fuyu, Goguryeo, Donghu, etc. The fertile land does not have to be the difference between the Central Plains, and if the country of Yan needs to expand, it will inevitably expand toward the northeast grasslands. The king of Yan can say this, and Hua Kai nodded in his heart. With the current situation in the country of Yan, it is impossible to attack China stupidly. The land in the northeast is fertile, and it is the best choice for the country to target the northeast. That's good. Qin Zheng's life expectancy is only 20 years. The Qin kingdom will definitely become weaker and weaker in the future. If the world can be peaceful, the human race will become stronger and stronger. It will not be difficult to eliminate the demonic beasts in the world. The Terran will become more and more prosperous, and the grassland tribe will also be integrated with the Central Plains. At that time, it will be a good thing for the Terran to be able to unify the northern grasslands. Hua Kai nodded. This is the strange stone and elixir I got from Shandao. King China will take a look first to see if he can get everything I want. King Yan saw Hua Kai said so. When he raised his hand, hundreds of stones appeared in the study, the largest of which exceeded a few. Hua Kai looked at it and saw that most of the stones in it were the 3rd rank and above. There were also a lot of 5th rank and 6th rank. More importantly, Hua Kai felt that a piece of ordinary dragon bird stone seemed to have a hint of thought, which turned out to be a piece. Spirit stones, like the Monkey King in Journey to the West, by Hua Kai, may be able to transform into a demon within 1,000 years of absorbing enough spiritual qi. I got this spirit stones at a high price. If the king of China has a way to forge him into a fairy soldier. There is no master forging in the country of Yan, and it is useless for the king to keep the high-level strange stones. Look at how many elixir, spirit armor, and dragon meat can be exchanged for these strange stones. Quote. King Yan came back this time and was willing to exchange things with Hua Kai. He must also know that these things can make China a lot stronger. China adheres to the path of peaceful development. King Yan wants to treat China as the best ally. That's right. It is also a good thing for Hua Kai. The 1st rank strange stone is 50 silver, the 2nd rank strange stone is 3 gold, the 3rd rank strange stone is 20 gold, the 4th rank is 100 gold, and the 5th rank is 1,000 gold. The 6th rank is 10,000 gold per caddy. Hua Kai picked up each strange stone as long as he held it in his hand to know how heavy it was. After he weighed all the strange stones, he took out a writing brush and paper to make a list. The number of strange stones below the 3rd rank is only 90,216 kilograms, so let's count 50,000 gold. The 4th rank strange stones are 140,123 kilograms, 2.1 million gold. The 5th rank strange stones are 189,721 kilograms, 19 million gold, and 3 6th rank stones are worth 624 kilograms. Million gold. What do you think of this spirit stones of 10 million gold? Hua Kai asked Yan Wang. The price is right. How much worse is it in exchange for the things I just said? King Yan asked. The total value of your strange stones is 27.39 million gold, and the dragon scale armor is calculated based on the lowest price of 500,000 gold for your allies. The lowest price of the spirit pill is 150,000 gold, one pair of spiritual armor is 1 million gold, and the treasure armor is 100,000 gold. 20,000 gold will do. The dragon meat is 1,500 gold per caddy based on the relationship between our two countries. Your strange stones are too far apart. Hua Kai said. The cost of a spiritual pill is tens of thousands of gold, and the cost of a magical stone is more than 100,000 gold. Even if the general big country buys the spiritual armor, it is the power of the whole country. This is the king of Yan. Wholesale is here. I still have some elixir, take a look. King Yan said and took out a lot of elixir without any packaging. Hua Kai saw that many 7-tier elixir were piled together. Did King Yan find it? How big is the treasure house? Hua Kai slowly sorted out these elixir, and saw that most of them are elixir above 5th rank. There are more than 10 9-level elixir, and there are 4 immortal grasses. The total number of elixir has reached more than 9,000. Strain. These are enough for Huakai to refine more than 1,000 furnaces of elixir. Many of these elixirs are not well preserved. They can be worth 36 million gold. These 4 grasses are worth 5 million gold for each plant, and the total value is 5,600 gold, plus the strange stone can be exchanged for half of the things you just mentioned. Huakai said to King Yan. That's only so. I still have some flat peaches here, what do you think about it? King Yan said and took out 26 large flat peaches. Huakai just took a sip and felt true qi surging all over his body. For you to count 1 million gold, this flat peach is at most as valuable as a high-level spirit pill. Huakai looked at it and said. There are some others. King Yan seems to have countless treasures. He took out more than 10 will spirit treasures at once, 4 of which belong to the second rank will spirit treasures. Each of these will spirit treasures represents one. Known as the foundation building, King Yan can take it out without hesitation, he must have something better. These spirit treasures will give you 10% of the goods, and the Wahia will not be able to deliver the goods in 2 years. Give it to me. I will try my best to make it customized according to your requirements. Huakai said that he took everything back to his portable space. These things are enough for China to digest for a year. 20% is still too little. I have something here that I want to exchange for all the goods. You see if this is enough. King Yan said and took out another spiritual herbs, but this Lingbao just appeared. Huakai felt the whole world. It seems to be filled with a strong fire element. This is a plant that exists on the same level as the snow lotus plant on the snow mountain of the Ujumchin tribe. This red canna is a third-rank fire-type spirit treasure. After using the foundation building, you will directly comprehend the power of the 5th rank will, and your future promotion to the gold core level will come naturally. It should be enough to make up the remaining price difference. The King Yan looked at Huakai and said. Why don't you use this red Yan canna for the Yan family? This represents a gold core realm powerhouse. Huakai couldn't help asking. The Yan family does not have talents above the gold core level qualifications. Several Shantian late stages have already understood the power of will, but unfortunately they are not the will of fire. I exchanged red Yan canna for the Shantian level, the Qi training level, and even children can. The spirit pills and dragon meat that are taken will train the children of the Yan family first. King Yan looked at Huakai and said. King Yan looked at Huakai and said. King Yan looked at Huakai and said.